Hey everyone, thank you all for 350k subs. That's quite a big accomplishment, and I'm really grateful for all of the support you guys have given me. I don't want to spend too much time on this front section because this video is extremely long, so you can feel free to put this on as a background noise because this video is going to be just me talking and answering questions. But I just wanted to say again, thank you for all the love and support and all of the questions. I did see every question, all 3,000 of them, but not all of them got answered because you see how long this video is already. There was a good chunk of repeat questions, so while your question might not be shown directly, if you ask something like, what's your favorite Archon quest, then I did answer it. I just might not have shown your comment. Also, since it is October, I would like to bring some awareness for breast cancer awareness. Breast cancer is a pretty serious issue. We all know this. It's cancer. It happens to both men and women, but predominantly women. It is the most common cancer for women, and I have been asked to promote a program called Casting for Recovery. It is a US-based organization, and it is designed to be a support group for women with breast cancer, and it offers free fly fishing retreats for the women involved. I'm aware that most of my audience doesn't like to go outside, but if you are interested in this or know someone who might be interested in this, maybe be like a family member, like a mother, aunt, grandmother, I don't know, you can point this to them. I'll have the link in the description. All right, now we're gonna get to the questions, starting with the ones from my Patreons and YouTube members. Which 5 stars do I have constellations on? And do I plan to C6 Farina? The only 5 stars I have constellations on that are limited 5 stars are Kazuha and Farina. I have Kazuha C6 and Farina C2 and a couple of standard banner 5 stars. As for C6ing Farina, see, it's different for me because I actually get Farina constellations every year we're married, so yeah, eventually it will be C6, yeah. Am I no longer doing streams? No, I am still doing streams. I would have done it for the hitless run, but I needed to have that video out fast because of the Genshin Impact sponsor, so I chose to not stream it. I try to stream the non-character challenges because I just don't think character-only streams would be that interesting, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I do stream. It's just a once-in-a-blue-moon thing. Now that you're done with college, is YouTube going to be your full-time job, or do you plan on working a regular job with YouTube as the side job? So YouTube is my full-time job right now. I'd like to keep doing this for as long as I can. I have thought about potentially maybe doing real estate or something like that, maybe studying and trying to get that on the side, but I would like to have YouTube as my full job. Do I intend to finish the challenges you have done in the past once the story is complete with the part 2 for them? Yes, I do intend on doing it. Not every challenge is going to get a continuation, but I know that the starter characters and the more popular challenges, they will be getting a continuation. I'm not going to be able to do that for literally every single run. That would not be good for my health. How long does it take to make a video from when you start planning it to when it goes live on YouTube? The challenges themselves usually range from 8 to 10 days of gameplay. Then I start writing, which is about 2 days. Then the day after that is proofreading and recording. Then I start editing after that, so we're probably looking at, let's say, 13 days at most. Editing takes me about another 8 to 10-ish days, and then I break it down by nation each day. Sometimes I do more. For example, I edit Mondstadt and Leeway in one day, while other days I am only able to do just Mondstadt or just Leeway, for example. But it probably takes me about 25 days to make a video from scratch. What challenge did I make the most accounts for, and how many hours would I say I've spent on Genshin in total? The challenge with the most accounts, I think, was Barbara. I believe I made 3 accounts for her in advance because I did not expect to get her so early. As for how many hours, I have no way to know for sure. If I had to take a guess, probably 2,000. Maybe. I really don't know. Do I have all the reference memes and videos in a folder, or do I go out of my way to find each one as you're editing? Typically, I go out of my way to find each one as I'm editing. There is some stuff that I have saved already, for example, Soy Jack Point. I just have that in my saved pictures file, but that's kind of just how I do things normally. It's pretty sporadic, and yes, there'll be times where I spend 40 minutes trying to find one specific meme. I know that I've done that for the Kachina video. I believe there was one part where I did an NSFW comic strip with these power adapters or something like that. That took me 45 minutes to find, but I was I know I've seen this image at least one time, and it would be perfect for this bit. Have I listened to Taylor Swift's newest album yet? No, I have not, and I actually talked to Duck about it, and Duck was actually telling me about it after the Guess Who collab, and he said it was terrible. So that's all I know about it. Which Genshin challenge had the most behind the scene chaos? That would be the no walking video, because I had to spend probably 2 to 3 days working on trying to export it alone. That video had so many problems just exporting, and it took so long to do because it was an hour-long video. It was a big pain in the ass. I think that video came out on a Tuesday, and it was supposed to be released on a Saturday. That's how bad the exporting was. It would get to like 98% and be like, oh, there was an error. Then it would have to restart all over again, and it was like a 4-hour exporting process. It was really annoying. What is my least favorite quest in Genshin, excluding Archon? conquest. I don't know if you'll count this, but like one of the daily commissions where it's like escorting the balloon. I hate that. I hate escorting stuff. But if you don't count that and you're talking about like an actual quest, that one quest in Inazuma, it's one of the islands to where it's like it's a quest that lasts throughout the entire week. I didn't really like that because like it limits your progression. You have to do only like X amount in a given period of time. I don't really like doing that. All right, so for this one, I'm going to be answering the top question because the other questions either have been answered or they are listed like with the other comments. So yes, I will be doing I Know Only. She's a guaranteed character, so yes, I will be doing that, and that will likely be after Zhongli only. What do I think of other Genshin YouTubers / streamers? I think very highly of a lot of the other YouTubers and streamers because, I mean, I watched a bunch of them before I started, you know, so it's like I have a great deal of respect for them, and now that I've like grown on my YouTube platform, I know what they've gone through and stuff, like different struggles and things, so it's like I know what it's like to be a YouTuber. I know what it's like to feel different emotions, like the highs and lows of when a video does well, when a video does poor, etc, etc. So before I had a ton of respect for them, and now I have even more, just because I know I have a better understanding of the work they put into it. How have I been doing lately? We're asking the hard-hitting questions out here. First off, I will say this. I am very appreciative of all the people who asked me questions like this. There were a lot of the questions, and I really do appreciate that you guys care about me and about my health. I will say this. I've been doing a lot better recently. You know, this year has been rough. There's been plenty of highs, and there's been plenty of lows. And in the summer, there was some lows around that time of the MistahFeet video, so yeah. But recently, I'd say probably like towards the end of September, early October, yeah, I was going through some more lows, but I feel great now, honestly. Like, I'm more motivated than ever. I've got got my head straight back on what I need to do and stuff, on my dreams and everything like that, so I'm feeling a lot better, honestly. Alright, that was all the Patreon and YouTube member questions. Now, we will get to the questions for my mom.
What's your experience with video games? I do not have a lot of experience with video games. When I was young, our house was the first one in the neighborhood to get the Atari, and we thought we were big shots, and it was just two sticks hitting a ball back and forth. I think it was called Pong. That's about the extent of my video games. I've never been that interested in them.
And you play what, Mahjong now?
And I play Mahjong and Wordle and Strands and Connections, Spelling Bee, and Mini Crossword. How mischievous or silly MistahFeet used to be as a kid. Do you have any anecdotes of young MistahFeet? He was very silly. He has a very good sense of humor. I wouldn't say he was necessarily mischievous, but he could get away with things. I remember his daycare teacher telling me that she would go and try to get onto him, and he would just look at her and say, "Your dress is so pretty." And she was like, "Well, I can't get onto him after that." He had a thing with my hair. He liked to twirl my hair. So he would get in my lap when he was tired and say, "Play hair." And he would stick his finger in my hair and just twirl my hair around his finger. That is one of the things I always remember about him as a little boy. As a older, I believe he was a senior in high school, I was at the parent meeting, and one of the office workers said, "Do you know Chris was in the office yesterday?" And I was like, "Oh my God, what has he done?" And she's like, "No, it's funny." And he had made up a bingo card for his band class. And every time the band director said anything, the kids would mark their bingo card. So he finally caught on to it, I guess. And he had to take the cards up and
stop the cards away
and stop the game, because people were like raising their hand and saying, "Mr. Did you just say?" And he's like, "Why do you need to know that?" And he's like, "Because I got a bingo." So it all came out, but he could not be mad at Chris, but he had to do it. But I think he passed that bingo card along to all of his other band director friends. So he had a way of getting in trouble, but he was so charming about it, the teachers could not discipline him because it was so funny. What was your reaction or mindset when MistahFeet YouTube channel became popular or possible to be a full-time job? As I said in the first question, I know nothing about video games, so I was very concerned, but he explained what he was doing and that he could make a living out of it, and I am extremely proud of him. I don't really know what he does, but I know he seems to be very good at it. I've never seen even any of his videos. He doesn't like for us to watch them. I would love to see what he does, but I respect him wanting to do this on his own, and I'm just extremely proud of him. What is your opinion on your son spending money on anime girls and being in his room all day screaming at his computer? Very good question. I try to be as patient as possible, but I'm old. When I go to bed early, I have stomped in this room and just looked at him and said, stop. I realize that this is part of his job, and honestly, it doesn't even faze me anymore, except if it goes into night and I'm trying to sleep. I didn't know he spent money on anime girls. Maybe you and I need to chat privately about this. How does it feel to have such a funny and attractive son? Well, I am extremely proud. He does get away with quite a lot that I don't think he should, but he has a way of charming all these women that, like, when he worked at the sorority house, nobody could get his bosses at the sorority house, his supervisors, I have a feeling that he got away with murder there, but he makes me laugh. We've had a couple of hard years, and he has got me through it. His sense of humor, and I can't say enough how proud I am of him.
Just to clarify, getting away with murder is a phrase, not actually, I did not murder anybody.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Is MistahFeet really funny and attractive, or is he just being delusional? Of course he is funny and attractive. He is just like his mother, Mama Feet. Does your mom watch your videos? If so, does she actually understand how Genshin works? No, he does not like for me to watch his videos, and I have no clue how Genshin works.
What are your thoughts on these characters as I'm showing you them?
What do you mean? What kind of thought? Oh, she looks ugly, or
Yeah, what do you think? How do you think he looks?
Are they all female?
They're not all female. That's a guy.
Kind of giving me Taylor Swift vibes, to be honest. Little crybaby or something, little baby. Wonder Woman, Taylor Swift. I'm in my Taylor Swift era. That looks like a deck of cards. Like a Joker or somebody on a deck of cards. French maid or something, or a chef.
She's a chef, yeah.
A bougie chef. Yeah. One of the X-Men, Halle Berry played Flame, or one there X-Men Halle Berry played.
I didn't watch X-Men.
Okay. One reminds me of a superhero. Rock star, Karate Kid kind of wannabe. Taylor Swift. Elphaba. The green, wicked Elphaba. Pillsbury Doughboy, even though I know it's a girl. Katy Perry in a music video. 101 Dalmatians. The lady that wore black and white.
Yeah.
Cruella DeVille. Cruella DeVille. Western Barbie.
That isn't Taylor Swift for you?
No, I got more Western Barbie.
This is my favorite character.
Nautical. The blue. Nautical. Some Harry Potter wizard. Again, somebody from the X-Men. Robin Hood. I like her, and down, keep going, I saw somebody. Alloy.
You like this?
I'm guessing I'm picking all the wrong people.
It's not a right or wrong thing.
Well, her hair and everything looked pretty like that. Don't necessarily like her outfit, but she looks cool.
You said she looks cool?
It's a him. Oh. And this reminds me of Phoebe from Friends. These two remind me of Phoebe from Friends.
Okay.
I would have to say I like her. She just, that and this right there, they remind me of Phoebe from Friends.
Okay. So is this one your favorite?
I think I like her better. I like what she's, Nurse Phoebe. I like that.
Clock strikes 12. Midnight arrives.
What does my mom do for work? Was it something to do with computers like yours? No, well, it kind of was. My mom was she was like an accountant for an electrical engineering company. She's retired now. She's been retired for like 10 years now. What made you think of the classic, MistahFeet, you're so funny and attractive, but insert, like, phrase? The only reason I thought to do this was because, I wanted to include stuff in my video, a part to where it's like, oh, at this point, you're probably going to be thinking this, or you might be wondering why do this, or you're not going to be able to do X in a run, stuff like that. But I wanted to add more humor to it, and I was just like, fuck it. You might be wondering, MistahFeet, and then just like include a bit before what they're actually wondering, just like because it would be funny. So just say you're funny and attractive, and I include the attractive part there because like I'm still like a faceless creator, so it's like you have no idea what I look like. But yeah, that's just kind of how it came together, and I was like, I wonder if this will catch on, and it very clearly has. I know one of my friends, he told me, it was like, dude, it's so hard looking through your comment section because everything is just saying you're so funny and attractive. It's really annoying. Archon ranking based on how much I like them as characters. So number one's obviously Farina. Not even close. Second, we'll probably go with Venti. Then number three. For number three, we'll probably go Nahida. After Nahida, I'll go Moika, Zhongli, and Raiden. Those will be the rankings for now. I'm feeling confident with that. I think I won. What is my favorite meme? So if you're talking about like on my channel, there's the obvious stuff like Almighty Shogun and like Rex Lapis assassinated. So I'm not gonna say those. I'll actually say one that's like more recently. I like the Kachiga stuff in the Kachina video because that character from Cars is way too funny, Chick Hicks. And then there's also this one part in the Gene video that I really liked. There's the Tawanto quiz bit, which I thought was pretty funny, but it's this part with Gene and the Fatui agent where she's just like swinging around. I edited it to where like it's this guy from a video where he's like throwing around different horror characters. For me, it's just really funny, and I like the sound effect that happened at one of them. As for a meme that's like not associated with my videos, right now it's this one meme, and it's not because of the person in it. It's this Michael Jordan gif of him like laughing and like shaking, like waving his hand like no, stop. I love that one. I see it all the time on Instagram. Will we ever get a main account review? I've seen a couple of you guys ask for main account reviews, and I'll be honest, I don't really got much to show, but I can. So here's a clip of me talking about like the characters I use. I'm just gonna go through characters that I used in the past and built previously. So this is my Wanderer. His name is Fortnite. 2k attack, 71 crit, 180 crit damage. Kazaha, 1.5 attack, 1000 EM, Freedom Sworn. Wanderer, he also had a Lost Prayer. Xiao, I don't really use him anymore. Yeah, so I usually had him on Deathmatch, but then I started using Arlecchino, so you'll see what that's like, but yeah, this Xiao isn't really built anymore. Venti, I don't really use. I don't use Jean. I don't use Aloy. Ayaka, I somewhat use. I really only use her for that freeze team with, Escoffier, Farina, and Kokomi. She's got Black Sword, some Blizzard Strayer artifacts. But, yeah. So she's got... Main thing is the 220 crit damage because the Blizzard Strayer crit passive. I don't really have to worry about crit rate too much. Shogun. It's not too good. It's alright. 214 crit charge. It's whatever. Ching, don't use. Baiju. I use them somewhat. It's mainly just HP maxing right now, and I have the signature weapon because, you know, I got a lot of these, you know. I got a lot of these on that one wishing video, yeah. And I got him on a HP and a healing bonus set. Alhaitham, don't use him too much. He's not really built well. Nahida, don't use her too much. Tainari, he does not have his gear. I can't remember why I de-equipped it, but okay, now we get the real show. We got Farina. So crit rate is not the best. We got good crit damage, massive crit damage even. 40k HP, got her signature weapon. I don't care if it's not best in slot. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna use it. And then artifacts, Golden Troop, Constellation, Season 2. And then I have both crowned both her talents except for the auto attacks. Ayato, fuck him. Kokomi, I'm not sure. I don't remember if I equipped her with all her artifacts again. I think I have, but 40k HP. Child, do not really use him much anymore. I think I still have a set on him, but I don't play him that much. Yeah, this is what he's running, but I don't play him that much. Moika, I play her occasionally. Gave her Serpent Spine. I usually swap her loadouts in and out between her and Kenichi in terms of like the weapons. And I have her as like a main DPS set. Her talents aren't like fully leveled because I don't play her too much. But yeah, 70 crit, 200 crit damage. Arlecchino, 80 crit rate, 210 crit damage. Runner on deathmatch usually. Gladiator set because I never farmed the Bond of Life set, so I just ran her on Gladiator, and you know what? I like it. It does fine. Lenny, don't use him too much. Crit rate, don't really have to worry about because I have him on the Hunter artifact set. I ended up getting his signature weapon. I can't remember how. I think I was going for Arlecchino's weapon, but I got this. So, Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this Lenny. Diluc, don't use. Hazo, sadly, I don't use him much anymore. He basically, my Wanderer set was basically what my Hazo used to run. Sucrose, don't use. Kaya, don't use. Fischl, would use occasionally. Not too much recently. Xingqiu, yeah, Sacrificial. I run him on the, Emblem of Severed Fate. I have those talents. He's C6. Gaming, don't use him. My Gaming, basically, he's also in the mix of that, like, Moika and Kanich rotation. It just depends on who I want. Whoever I plan on using, they get the Serpent Spine, and they get all the, they get the artifacts also. He's also C6, too. Bennett, I have him, Skyward Blade, Noblesse, 4-piece, standard Bennett sets, you know, nothing crazy. Jungling, she is supposed to have the catch, I believe. Wait, oh, man, I've been messed up for a while now. My Shogun was supposed to have the catch. Okay. Those two got swapped. Okay, that's not good. Let's see. She's also C6. Yep. Then we got Escoffier. I have her on this one just because her stuff scales off attack. Golden Troop to help with the damage, stuff like that. I think I was just looking for a set to use for her, and I found that. Her talents are not maxed yet. She's still currently being built. Mona, fuck her, don't use her. Yunjin, don't use. Shinobu, I have her leveled, but I haven't used her. Toma, have him leveled, but I haven't used him. Razor, don't use. Ningguang, don't use. Now we're getting to the territory of the characters I just, like, don't use anymore. So, most recent character I got, actually, was, Flynn's. So, fun fact, have not had a chance to level him, because I got this character, when I made the thumbnail for my, channel announcement, like, when I made the thumbnail announcing the Q&A, I had to go into the game, and I took the picture with Lisa, but when I got into the game, it was around the time of the anniversary, so I logged in, got all my rewards and stuff, did one 10 pull, and I got Flynn's. So, yeah. But yeah, that's the MistahFeet account right now. What will I do when I run out of Genshin things to do and any plans for the future? So, when I run out of Genshin content, likely what's going to happen is I'm just going to probably just try and keep finding, like, shitty gacha games to play, like that one video, and probably just do challenges for other games I enjoy, stuff like that. That's the, I mean, obviously that stuff is far out in the future, but that's the stuff I have planned in my head. When am I going to do a face reveal? All right, another commonly requested question, and all I'm going to say is I have done a face reveal already. I did one this year. It's in a video. You can find it. I did not lie. That is all I'm going to say. Will I do runs with meta characters like Arlecchino, Skirk, etc., and will the future runs contain Nod Cryax? Okay, so the way I do my character challenges is I usually have them around a theme. So it started off with the guaranteed characters, which are the characters that, like, the game gives you for free. There's the standard banner 5 stars, which are just self-explanatory. We're doing Archons because, you know, Archons are a pretty important figure for the Genshin story. There's also the starting characters, the ones that the games gave you for free. I do my runs based around themes. I'm not going to do one based off of meta characters like that. Bennett was the exception. I may or may not do another run like that in the future. I prefer to use characters that are not good because honestly that just makes for better content. I mean, you saw the Bennett video, like, I didn't really struggle with that, so I'm gonna try and do runs based around themes, and I would prefer to do characters that aren't good over ones that are good simply because it makes for better content. And yes, the future runs will include a Not a Cry. What inspired me to make challenge videos? So the inspiration for the challenge videos was mainly Pokemon Nuzlocke from, like, Alpharad and Smallant. When I first started, I enjoyed playing Genshin Impact, and I would watch the content, but not all of the content was stuff that I could, like, fully resonate with. But when I would watch those Nuzlocke and Pokemon challenge videos, I really enjoyed the style and how they were presented, so I was like, I wonder if I can do this for Genshin, so that's basically what I did. I just combined the two. If you're MistahFeet, does that make your nemesis Madam Hand? No, it would be Mr. Hand, because I would never be rivals with a woman. Ladies, that's just another thing to put on the list, okay? Is this thing on? What was the most tiring but rewarding video you made? So there's two that come to mind. First would be Gene, because that's the most recent one. That one I literally made right before it got uploaded. Normally for most of my videos, they are up at least like a day or two before I either make it available for patrons or make it public for the entire side of YouTube. But for Gene, that was made like a couple of hours before the video went live, if I'm just being honest, because I got put pretty behind on that, and I was rushed because the sponsor deadline was was that day. It was the last month of August, I believe. So that video came out on a Sunday. I believe that Friday I recorded all of Tawanto's stuff with him. So I had basically all day Saturday to include all of Tawanto's things, and I still had to edit, I think, a portion of Sumeru, and I had to edit the entire middle section of Mondstadt where I'm talking about the positives and negatives of Gene. I had to do all of that in like 24 hours. So that was a tiring thing to do, but I was pretty happy with the video. However, I think the real answer to this question would be the no walking video. That video took me an extremely long time to make, and I was really stressed trying to get it out because I was having a lot of problems exporting the video. A ton of problems. It probably took me like 5 to 8 different tries to try and like just get the video out to export. Not even like upload it on YouTube to see if it's good for copyright and things for that. Just literally leaving Premiere. So it would be at like 90% and be like, oh, there's an error at this part, so now I have to do it the entire time. And since that video was like an hour long, exporting it was probably like a 4-hour process. Like dead ass. That thing took so long to export. Yeah, and I got it out, I think, the day that Natlan released, which is what I was looking for. That was like my internal deadline for it. But yeah, it eventually all worked out, and I was very happy with that video. So that one was the most tiring because I was stressed trying to export it, and it was the most rewarding because of how much I put into it. Would I ever do account reviews? I'm not entirely against doing account reviews. I don't feel like I'm a very qualified person to do these account reviews. You know, it's like I'm not a guide maker. I don't go for like fully optimal stuff. So it's like I can tell you what's good, and I can tell you what's bad, but I can't tell you like what's great and what you need. So if I did account reviews, it would mainly just be a comedy thing where it's like I'm just kind of gonna be shitting on you the whole time. What motivates you to keep taking on these tiring challenges? I've also seen comments similar to this talking about like what motivates me to keep making videos, so I'm just gonna kind of group it into one thing on this question. There's a couple things that motivate me. I genuinely want to be great. I want to be able to make something that I'm proud of, and I want to be able to make something that makes other people happy. When I was younger and I didn't have good days, I could always go to YouTube and there would always be a video that I could find that would help make me feel better. I would like to be able to have videos that allow other people to have those experiences, you know? So it's like, because we all have bad days, and we may have someone in our lives that can help us, and other times we may not. I would like to be a thing to where it's like, no matter what, so long as you have an internet connection, I guess, you could watch a MistahFeet video that could potentially make you feel better, you know? I want to be a good inspiration for people, someone that, like, in the future, when people say they started doing YouTube videos and they get asked what was your inspiration, they can say MistahFeet, and although the username is very weird, it's not something they can be embarrassed of because, you know, I do my best for the content and stuff, and I want to be a good person, someone that is worthy of inspiration, you know? Not someone that, like, 10 years down the line, you're like, oh, I wonder what they're doing now, and you saw that they like, you know what YouTubers are known to do. You play Peak? Yes, I do. Am I good at drawing? Absolutely not. I am probably one of the worst drawers or artists, whatever you want to call it, that you could ever meet. Just straight up. It's bad. It's bad. That's why I have a thumbnail artist. I can't do this. It is terrible. And speaking of thumbnail artists, I know some of you guys asked about her, so here's a Minty, I guess. Okay.
God, you're making me nervous. Oh my god.
Shut up! Jesus Christ! I'm trying to read. Now, go ahead and introduce yourself for the uninformed.
Hello. My name is Minty_Chu. I draw thumbnails for MistahFeet, also known as Chris. I draw stuff on Twitter. I do commissions. I don't know what else I do. Sorry.
The plugin is insane on my shit. Okay.
Like, what else do I even say?
So. MintyChu, no underscore this time, asks,
are you MistahFeet because you like feet? Or do you like feet because you're MistahFeet? Chills.
Don't be proud of that. Don't be proud of that. If I had, like, gun to my head, if I had to pick, it would probably be the latter option. And I've been told by numerous friends at this point that they're sure that I have a fetish. They're just waiting for me to just come out and say it. So I guess if I had to pick... Shut up. If I had to pick, I'd probably go with the second one. Will Minty be here from now and on? Well...
What the fuck does this even mean? Like...
Are you gonna be in more videos?
They make it sound like you fucking kidnapped me.
Why are you hating so much on that shit? Are you gonna be in future videos? Yes or no? It's yes.
How am I supposed to answer this when it's your fucking videos? Oh Oh yeah, so that was that literally in one of the recordings, that was like a full like 48-minute conversation that he had about like
48?
this one artist that drew like Farina, like giving it was like a foot job like Farina. And it was like 48 minutes of him just talking about how he wanted to like suck each of her toes individually and like how he wanted to like suck all like the little dirt out of like her nails. It was really, really fucking grim. I like, dude. I was like, bro, you should like keep this in the recording, and he was like, I'm too embarrassed, MintyChu. What if they
Okay, one, I sound nothing. I sound nothing like that. And two, my
Sorry.
mom's gonna watch this video.
MintyChu, I'm too embarrassed because I really like toes. I like Farina as well, by the way. She's like my wife. THXD. But
I don't sound.
I'd be really sad if my viewers found out about this, so you better not tell them, especially not on the Q&A video. I'll be really sad.
Besides work, how do you know Minty? Alright, so we're both gonna say how we met. One of them is true, the other is false. You guys can pick which is true.
Yeah, so like basically, I do like firefighting work locally, but like basically every week. I just figured like, you know, I'm such like a cool Twitter artist. I should like make some time for like, you know, the people that are in need. So, you know, I put my my
You do it unpaid
services.
too, right? Like unpaid?
Yeah, no, that's why it's volunteering. Like,
Okay.
I don't get paid. I just do it because like I love people, you know, and they love me, you know. People are like, oh my god, that's MintyChu, she saved my dog. Like, oh my god, MintyChu, you saved my chameleon from like burning down. And yeah, so like one day, I'm like, you know, I'm just doing my thing. I'm like sliding down the pole, you know, and then I see there's like a little dog crying in the corner. I'm like, oh my god, the little puppy, oh my god. So I like grab him, and he's like under my arm. And I'm like running out the building, right? Everything's in flames, like debris like falling everywhere, and like I look to my right and I see there's like a guy, and he's got like a PC set up, and he's like crying, and I'm like, huh? What
Crying?
the fuck? So I look over, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, like don't cry, like you're okay. I'm here, man. I'll get you out of here. And then he looks at me and he's like, oh my god, the building is burning down. What? And he starts like screaming, and I'm like, dude, calm down. Like, why were you crying, bro? What did you think was happening? He was like, dude, I was playing Genshin Impact with only Mona. And I'm like, oh my god, bro, this fucking guy. So like, I thought like, you know, maybe I should just leave him, because he's like a fucking Genshin player, like, you know.
Okay.
No one's really gonna miss him if I just like leave him here. Like, what the fuck has a Genshin player ever contributed to society? So like, yeah. I was thinking like, maybe, because he's a Genshin player, I should do like a coin flip to see if I can save him, because that's like a 50-50.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is true.
But
I
then-
remember that.
Yeah. But I thought like that'd be kind of fucked up, and like they probably wouldn't be very happy with me if I like left him there.
It'd be
So
bad for
I
her
like, grab him.
reputation.
And I grab him, and then I fucking get out of there.
She grabbed me
Well,
one-handed too, like, which is
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
I have like the dog in one arm, and then like Chris in the other. And then I just like.
She's
jump
actually
all
just
the way
holding me by
down.
my shirt, actually.
It was like massive fucking skyscraper. I jumped all the way down. 0 full damage. I land on my feet. Oh, I did like a backflip after. Yeah. And he was like, oh my god, you're my hero, oh my god. I don't know how he knew my name. He must have been like a stalker or something.
Okay. Okay.
Oh my god, you're MintyChu on Twitter. I love you. Oh my god. I was like, dude, this guy is freaking me out, bro. What the hell? And I figured like, well, I mean, I saved his life. I should probably like be nice to him. So I went on a Discord call, and he was like, oh my god, it'd be my dream if you were in my videos. Oh my god. And he was like kicking his feet. It was really weird. Like, but yeah. And I said yeah because I'm like really nice.
So, how we met was, let me see. One day on Twitter, because I was on Twitter and she draws stuff on Twitter, and she used to do a lot of Genshin art, and I would like her doodles occasionally, because, you know, like some of them weren't like complete dog shit and stuff like that. So I was like, you know, this is like half decent, you know, like give a dog a bone. And one of these days she said, one of my favorite Genshin YouTubers keeps liking my Genshin doodles, and every time I see it I get so happy and giddy, but I'm too nervous to actually reach out and say thank you. So I saw that tweet on my timeline, and I'll be honest, I thought she was talking about like Tawanto or like Ziox or something like that, if I'm just being completely honest.
But
But yeah, I like that post, and then she made like another tweet to that. She was like, "He liked this tweet too. What the fuck? Help!" But yeah, basically, she was like my biggest fan in the world at that point, and then she later DM'd me. She was like, "OMG, I love your videos so much," and I was like, "Thanks, your art's like I guess," and that's kind of where that first conversation ended. Then, what was it, like March or April of this year?
I could probably check actually.
April 2nd. We literally have a date for it. April 2nd. I made some tweet about Limbus Company, and she was like, I'm freaking out over you playing Limbus Company. And we had some like brief conversations about that, of like me getting into the game. And then we didn't really become friends at that point. We probably became friends once. I asked her, this is when I say we became friends. I asked her if her like commissions were open, because I wanted some like art for streams and just general things. And I asked her about the comms and stuff, and we figured that out, and I was like, oh, by the way, would you be okay if I use this on stream? And then she said, I would be honored. But she spelled it incorrectly. She spelled honor with a U in it.
Oh my god, this fucking guy, bro.
And then
stupid fucking American spelling and everything.
And then once I saw that said, wait, are you British? Then she was like, ... I'm not proud of my debuff, or something along those lines. And we just became friends after that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was like we like interacted before then.
We just had previous interactions, her being like, I'm your biggest fan, and me saying your art's like halfway decent, you know, things like that.
I genuinely think the thing that like solidified our friendship was just like fucking debating over accents and like spelling and pronunciation.
Oh, yeah, like in the DMs.
Twitter conversation.
Yes.
About like
before we started Discord, before we add each other on Discord, we just kept, it was just big debates over that. Like me calling her like a fucking red coat or something like that. Does MintyChu also funny and attractive? What would you say?
Does MintyChu also funny and attractive? Is that what the question was? I mean, my creature is kind of just like cute. She's not really like funny, or I wouldn't like describe her as either of those things.
She's dumb.
kind of stupid looking.
She's really dumb. She's the
Just
mayor
like
of
a little-
Dumbtown.
Yeah, the mayor of Idiotsville. Yeah. Yeah. This guy says so many mean things to me. My uncle, he's like, "Wow, you're like the mayor of Dumbsville." Like, "Oh, I just got a call from the mayor of Idiotsville, and he said he knows you." Like, "Oh." Like,
I literally said that
this shit to me.
yesterday.
He literally says this stuff to me all the time, and it's like, dude, what did I ever do to you? I literally saved you from a burning building, and this is how you fucking treat me. Like,
This isn't
God
even answering
forbid.
the question.
I said I think she's cute and like stupid. I don't really think she's like funny attractive. But if they're asking if like real life MintyChu is funny or attractive, I don't know if I should answer that.
He kind of looks like All Might IRL.
Oh yeah, actually this is kind of true. Like, I'll literally send you a picture of him, and you can like put it on screen. Like,
Clock strikes 12. Midnight arrives.
What is my favorite part in each Archon quest? Alright, so this one took me a bit to write down, but this is what I came up with. For Mondstadt, I don't know if you would include this in the Archon quest, but I'm going to, because you literally can't do the Archon quest without it. So I'm gonna say the exploration that I do from like the end of Mondstadt Act 1 all the way to Mondstadt Act 2. I enjoy doing that because it gives me a chance to like, that's probably like the closest thing I can get to speed running for Genshin, if that makes sense. Like, I enjoy seeing how much XP I can get in like an hour or two, because I'm able to jump up a lot of XP during that time. Not trying to like gas myself up too much or anything, but it's like I found the code, if that makes sense. So I can get from like AR8 to AR16 in 2 hours, which doesn't sound that bad, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you start over Genshin and do that, you'll see that it's a lot more than you think. And I enjoy seeing how fast I can do that stuff with different characters. So that's probably what I'll say for Mondstadt. For Leeway, I really enjoy doing Act 2. I really don't know why. I just have like a good rhythm for it at this point. Inazuma, I'm gonna say the ending cutscene. I always love that cutscene. It's just so nice, and the music feels really rewarding to listen to, especially after you've done some bullshit like No Hit Senora. Sumeru, I'm probably gonna say this one section in Act 5, basically from the Scara Factory all the way up until the end of the Polluted Islands. That's probably my favorite for Sumeru. I just enjoy doing that. Fontaine, it's really hard to say because in my challenges, not much happens in Fontaine, so it's just gonna be like another cutscene moment. Mainly the violin segment that happens in this one part of the cutscene with Nuvolette and Farina. I really love that violin. Violin and pianos are just like some of my favorite things to listen to in music, and and this has a really good violin part. And for Netland, I'm gonna say the war, mainly because it's plenty of combat, and it will always give me something to talk about for Netland sections and videos. So that's one of the reasons why I appreciate the war. It can drag on a little bit, you know, because it's dead ass like probably 70 minutes of combat at least for my challenges, but I will always have something to say for these parts, at least. The only time I don't like it is when I have to use a character that has terrible elemental application and I have to get rid of the pylons. That stuff is usually miserable. But yeah, those are my favorite parts of the Archon quest. Do I ever get tired of hearing the Genshin dialogue to where I just mute the game and add the dialogue and editing? Yes, I get tired of hearing the dialogue, but I never mute it. It's one of those things where it's like, whenever I'm going through these cutscenes, I don't think there's there's very few sentences that get finished, and I only let those sentences finish for the videos. So like the Rex Lapis and the Almighty Shogun, honestly, those are like the two sentences that get finished. Every other time, I'm just mashing F, which by the way, is one of the best changes they made, because they made it to where F can also be used to select dialogue options, so I literally don't have to click my mouse anymore. It's so nice. I can literally just mash F in space. But no, I don't mute the game because I use like game audio for like the sound effects and things like that for parts of the video. So if there's like an explosion, I usually try to include that because I can make it funny or something like that. What inspired me to make videos? I've always wanted to make videos, basically ever since I saw like gaming videos on YouTube. Since watching YouTube, I wanted to do this. I didn't know how to, because YouTube's not like other jobs, so it's like, you know, there's like a clear path to where it's like, oh, you want to work at a bank, or it's like you go to school, then you like go get a degree, then you go apply to a bank, or like engineer, stuff like that. YouTube doesn't have a path like that. You just kind of do it. But I always was afraid to take that step, you know. But in college, I saw a video that inspired me to like get off my ass and like actually make a Genshin video, because originally in college, I was like, my goal was like, all right, so I want to do this content creation thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to save up and like get all my stuff ready for streaming and things like that. So when I graduate college, I can do like streaming and stuff like that. But then I realized it was like, why am I waiting? You know, it's like YouTube isn't like streaming. You can do it whenever you want. Like, why wait? I'm just gonna do this now. So that's what I did. I just started making videos in college, and I fell in love with it. So that's where I got today. And inspiration, there's a lot of people I can list for my video style. There's Alpharad, Small Ant. Those are probably the two big ones when it comes to Genshin challenges. There's a couple streamers that I watched when I was younger, mainly during the Overwatch time. Tim the Tapman, Moon_OW, and a couple other YouTubers like Mythymoo and Punk Duck. I was really into this game called Smite, and those were the two YouTubers for it that I watched the most. So if I had to pick some inspirations for like my style and who I am, it's probably those and Mr. T Lexify from Call of Duty Zombies. Those are probably the biggest inspirations for like who I am and how my content is. What app do I use to edit? So there's 3 apps I use. From least common to most common that I use, it is After Effects, Photoshop, and Premiere. Premiere is where I do all of my video work. Photoshop is where most of my memes are made, and After Effects is where I do like green screens and stuff. It's mainly used for my anime openings. I fucking hate After Effects. The UI on that software makes me so mad every time I use it. I cannot stand After Effects. I fucking hate it. And for Adobe products in general, I could go like on a 15-minute rant about how I feel about these products, but at the end of the day, I can't say too much about what I would recommend doing, because YouTube does not encourage you to talk about piracy. So do with that information what you will. I will say that for video editing, if you want to get into a start, I believe DaVinci Resolve is free, so you can just try that. You're not going to get access to everything, but if video editing is something you're interested in, Resolve is it's a nice way to get like your foot in the door, you know, just to get a little taste, a little bite, you know, if you're interested in this type of thing. What do I think of the Nod Cry characters? I have not played it yet. I just sort of have not had the time. So all of September, I spent working on the no-hit video, and all of October, I've been working on like the 4 videos that I've been putting out this month, and I took a trip to go visit a friend, like, and that was out of state, so I've been really busy in October, so I have not had the time to play it yet. But from what I've seen of the characters, it's just from a pure visual standpoint, they definitely seem interesting. The only one I know about is, I think, Jehoda or Yehoda. I have no idea how it's pronounced, but she seems the most interesting to me, and that's mainly because I've saw on Twitter that people are calling her fans like Jehoda's witnesses. She's definitely the character I'm the most interested in. I know a lot of people like Flins with his aura farming ass. Who else did I see a lot of hype about? I know a lot of people want me to do Ino, like Ino only, and that's going to happen. So I'm interested to see why a lot of people like her. I'll have a better answer for you guys later on these characters. Who was my very first Genshin main on my account? Okay. The first like team I remember running was Ningguang, Yanfei, Sucrose, and Kaya. I liked Kaya. I liked playing as Kaya because he had like short cooldowns. I liked Sucrose because he was able to group things together. And I had Yanfei and Ningguang equipped because they were like the only 4-stars I was getting at that time. I was only getting Catalyst characters for some reason. Like, that's just all I got when I first started playing the game. But I remember running that team a lot. But I think if I had to pick one character that was my main, it would probably be my first 5-star, which was Ayaka. When I first got Ayaka, I used her a lot. So I guess it would be Ayaka, but yeah, try running that team in Abyss. Like, just make a video and just like tag me. It's like, I 36-starred Abyss using MistahFeet's favorite team or something like that. Let's see how that works. Which character did I have the most fun doing? There's 3 options for this, and I'm assuming this question is purely based off like gameplay for which of the character onlys I enjoyed the most. And if that's the case, there's 3 options. Venti only, because it was so nice. You guys have no idea how nice it was to do Venti only. Exploring was a breeze, no pun intended. Enemies got CC'd constantly. I could literally press one button and just win. It was so nice. Bennett was also good. It was so much fun knocking people up with Tornado Uppercut, and I know that became a meme, and I'm really happy that that became one because it was so funny to me just knocking people up with that sword, especially the large enemies. It's so much fun, and I got to use a part of the character that no one talks about because when people play Bennett, they like only use the first hit or the final charge attack like in their burst so they don't get knocked back. No one talks about the second stage, and I loved it personally. And the third one was Jean only. It was nice playing a character because Jean was probably the most brain dead character I could play, like dead ass. It was so easy. I don't think I died with her aside from like a fall damage incident which was like Tawanto's fault. Like I dead ass could just turn off my brain and do whatever. And it was also nice because I actually had people in call with me that were like watching and had feedback to make the video more interesting. So I did enjoy that because like in my other videos, I would be in call with people, but we were just talking about general things, but I was never in call with someone like who was watching the gameplay and had like bits to go off of and make jokes with about like what was happening and stuff like that. So that was another reason why the Jean one was also fun to do. Would I cheat on Farina with any other Genshin character? No. I literally cannot express how perfect Farina's design is to me. She like literally hits everything, like from like the color scheme to the outfit, just like the hair, the homophobia in her eyes, like the different eye colors. I remember when I first saw this character, I was like, this is my favorite Archon by far. And I remember the people that hated her at first too. I will not forget that. But like, this is just my favorite character design by far. And there's quite literally no other character that could be made in Genshin that would beat her. Was Genshin my first gacha game? And was I always interested, or did I dislike it at first? So I got into Genshin because of a friend recommendation, and it was my first gacha game. Was I always interested in it? No. I remember I played up until I unlocked Wishes. I was like, this is alright. Then I dropped it for like an entire weekend. I didn't touch it for 2 whole days. I think I went out of town to like do like blue collar work. Yeah, I actually went outside and did physical labor. Shitheads in the comments, I already know what you're thinking. And then I came back, and this was during the summer, and I think I played it like all day Monday, and I was like, yeah, this is fun. I enjoy this game. What is my vote for game of the year? Your vote is Expedition 33. I've not been able to play many games this year, if I'm being honest, so my answer is Genshin Impact. No. I've heard a lot of good things about 33, Silk Song, the new Donkey Kong game, but like sadly, I'm a bit of a workaholic, if I'm being honest. I enjoy what I do, so it's hard for me to play newer games. A couple of games that I have played this year that I've enjoyed would be, I played Peak, played Repo. I know these are like friend slop games, but I've been having a lot of fun with them. But if I had to pick one of those two, it would probably be Peak. I enjoyed Peak a lot. And then I'd also say this new Sonic racing game, it's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it a lot, so I'll probably say that. Even though if it's a weird option, I'm really sorry. I don't have a lot of time for games anymore. Yeah, I don't play games. But it's hard for me to vote on game of the years and stuff simply because I just don't have that much time for it, you know. What was my hardest challenge by far gameplay wise? I mean, I have like a tier list for these things that I do at the end of videos, so I'll answer this for 2 parts for the character onlys and the other challenges. For character only, it would probably be Mona. Honestly, it's going to be one of the Catalyst characters because like Mona was obviously a big pain in the ass, but she did have one thing going for her, which was her burst, because if she was able to get her burst, then she could like basically one-shot people. So it's like either her, Lisa, or Barbara. If we're looking at the context in which the run was done, it would either be Lisa or Barbara, mainly because those runs were done with the old Ascension domains. so it was harder for them to do, and I wasn't as good at the game as I am now, so it would be harder for me at that point. And if I had to pick, I would probably, I'll say Lisa, simply because you couldn't kill Barbara. She just had so much sustain, so I'll go with Lisa. And for the non-characters, no hit was difficult, but no healing, I actually lost that, so I think that's the fair answer to say. No healing would be more difficult for, like, everyone to do. The only reason why it's not the #1 hardest was because I allowed resets. No healing, there was not resets. Like, if a character died, then they were just dead. But if a character got hit and no reset, we just start over. So I guess no healing would probably be the hardest then for that. Who is my favorite all-time character from any series or media? The answer to that would probably be Johnny Joestar from Part 7. It's either him or Farina. Those two, I just love their characters. Both from a design standpoint and because of, like, their stories and just character developments. Why do I choose pain? Because I need to know that I'm still alive. I'm sorry. So for this question, it's basically asking if I could do a character only for any character that's like not within the themes that I do, which one would it be? There's two options that I've thought of. Either a Kazuha only, because I really enjoy the character, or I've thought of doing a Xiao only, with a potential collab with like Ziox or something, because I think that would be a funny video to make. If I had to pick two, it would probably be between those two. And I mean, like, even if I did a Xiao, there's like no guarantee that like a collab would even happen. It was just an idea that I had, but if I had to just pick two characters, it would probably be those. I have thought of doing a challenge to where it was like 5 stars only, and it would be a random 5-star that was just on banner at the time that I would do, so that could also work. But yeah, those are like 3 potential options. Those are like 3 potential options I've had, so I hope that like kind of answers your question. Who introduced me to video games? Technically, okay, so my parents bought a PS2 for me and my brother, but it was mainly my brother because he was older than me, so we could actually play stuff. I guess it would be my brother because I'd watch him play like games on the PS2, and I think the first ever game I ever played was like Sonic Heroes, which I've thought about making a video on now, like beating the first ever game I played, because I never beat it as a kid. So, but the answer to this question would be my brother. I guess more directly introduced it to me, but my parents got us our first video game console. Do I actually think that characters like Electro Traveler, Chi-Chi, and Mona are actually bad, or is that just a bit I do for the videos? So, you have to keep in mind that when I'm calling characters bad, it is in the context of a solo run. So, yes, characters like Electro Traveler and Mona are really bad in solo context. Chi-Chi, a lot of people were like, got mad at me in the comments of that video saying, oh, Chi-Chi's not that bad. And it's like, and if you watch the video, like, once I get to like Sumeru onwards, I don't gas her up, but I do admit that like Chi-Chi is getting better. Those characters, they definitely have uses in team comps. They're not the best. Like, Electro Traveler and Chi-Chi certainly aren't great characters, but they can be played. Mona has some uses in actual team comps, but like solo-wise, yes, those characters are bad. It's not just a bit. I will exaggerate their negatives, obviously, but I will talk about their positives. I just won't spotlight it as much because I can do more with the negatives since there's more of them, and I can make it funny because you guys like to see me angry and stuff. But yes, if there is a bad character, I'm going to call them bad. It's just important to remember that I'm playing the game with these characters by themselves, and obviously these characters aren't designed to be played by themselves. Would I be able to post more behind the scenes or highlights from my challenges? So for the highlights, I usually save that for streams, because for most of the challenges that I'm by myself, it's like complete silence and it's me like watching a video or listening to music, so there's not much for me to highlight. I did think about making a highlights video for the Gene with like bloopers from my collab with Tawanto and like some funny moments that I had with Minty that I didn't show in the video. I thought about doing a bloopers thing for Gene, but I kind of decided against it. I think it would be interesting to make a video towards like me talking about the process of how I make my challenges, like the editing and stuff behind that. I don't know how many of you guys would be interested in that, but it's an idea I've had before, so I'm not entirely against doing that. What is my favorite genre of music or favorite Genshin region music-wise? Okay, so favorite genre, I can't tell you because I listen to a whole bunch of stuff that's like not country music, so it's hard for me to say. And for Genshin music region-wise, if I had to pick a region, it would be Inazuma, but I don't know if you'd count this because my actual favorite song from Genshin is from Dragonspine. It's Snowberry Tales. I'm literally listening to it right now. I've said before, I love piano music, and this is just such a great, nice, calming song to listen to. It helps keep me calm and like focused on whatever I'm doing. So I love this song, and especially right now because it's also raining when I'm recording this. So this song with the piano and the rain in the background, it's just so nice. Do I ever get genuinely burned out? Yes, it happened last year around this time actually, because what I was doing during the fall and early winter season of last year when Natlan's Archon Quest was coming out, I recorded challenges back to back to back. I recorded Dia, Kachina, and Mona all right next to each other, and that was so exhausting to do. But I did it intentionally, and it did burn me out, but the reason why I did it was because, and starting like December, January, February, I would be purely editing. So it gave me plenty of space to not play Genshin for such long periods of time while also doing work because, you know, I had the footage done already so I could just edit. So yes, I do get burned out, and I'm usually able to tell when I'm getting burned out, so I try my best to plan around that. Would I ever try Minecraft on my channel, and what is my favorite color? So my favorite colors are pink and blue, and make sure you spell it correctly next time. But would I try Minecraft on my channel? I've thought about it. I think it would be interesting to make a video on Minecraft, mainly because I don't have much experience with it, so I think someone who has limited experience with Minecraft, I think that would be an interesting thing for people to see, because, you know, Minecraft's one of those games where it's like everyone and their mom has played, but MistahFeet has played it like twice in his life, so I think it could potentially be interesting. Do I have a plan to expand the challenges into other games like WoWa, HSR, ZZZ? For HSR, no, I just don't have much interest in HSR anymore, if I'm being completely honest. ZZZ, the interest is extremely low. I like a lot about ZZZ except for the combat. My main problem with ZZZ's combat was just like the forced slowdowns. I didn't really vibe with that. As for WoWa, I actually have thought about doing WoWa. I've thought about doing a rover only, and I know I've mentioned it before, and it's not something I'm entirely against. It's just one of those things to where it's like, I see, it's hard for me to want to do another big challenge video like that where it takes multiple days, because it takes me a lot of time to make my Genshin videos. You know, that's like basically a month to make a Genshin video, and it's a risk to like spend another month doing a video that potentially might not perform well, you know? So I'm not entirely against doing a WoWa challenge. I might end up recording one in December time. I don't know, I can't make any promises, but of those 3 games, WoWa would be the one to get a video. How did I get the courage to start my channel? I've wanted to for a while, but I'm just scared. I'm gonna be honest, I got the courage to do it because I saw a video that basically said to, you know, do it. So, well, it didn't really say that specifically, but I interpreted it as that, so I just did it. And that, honestly, that's going to be the same advice I'm going to give to you or to anyone else. Just do it. It sounds easy, and in truth, it is easier said than done, but anyone can make a YouTube video. Just straight up, anybody can do it. And the first step is always going to be the hardest, no matter what you do, whether it be YouTube or anything else you do in life. And the only way to get over it is to just straight up do it. You can have friends help you make the video, you can ask for advice, but at the end of the day, you are going to be the person that hits public and save on a YouTube video when it's time for it to go live. That's going to be you. And it sucks. It is scary because you don't know how well video is going to do. And truth be told, your first video isn't going to do well. Mine didn't. My first ever video got like 5 views, I think, not even, on the first day it was uploaded. And like 3 of them were me. It's going to be different for everybody, but if you want to get the courage to do this stuff, you're just going to have to do it. There is no like secret guide for like how to make a YouTube video and stuff like that. There'll be videos like how to get 100k subs in like 24 months or like 12 months, whatever it is. It's different for everybody, but you're just gonna have to do it. And that's the best way to know if this is what you want to do. If you enjoy making the video, even if that video doesn't get any views, you will know if you want to do YouTube based off of how you felt making that video. So if you want to know your answer for whether or not you should do YouTube or if you'll enjoy it, make that video and see how you feel doing it. Have I tried any authentic Hispanic or Japanese food / snacks that I genuinely enjoyed and why you like them? I've been to like Hispanic and Japanese restaurants. I don't know if you'd count the stuff from that, but I mean, I enjoyed those types of food. The only one I can think of off of my head that would like potentially straight up answer your question would be onigiri. I had to make that for a project in my Japanese class, and it was pretty good. I actually really liked it. I mean, it's just rice and seaweed, but it was fun like having to mold it into the shape, and I mean, it tasted fine. You know, it's just a nice, easy snack to make, and we had to do it for a project, and it was fun. I had to do it with some friends too, so I mean, that also helped, but yeah. What is my favorite nation in Genshin, and from each one, what is your favorite character? Okay, so my favorite nation, it's gonna be biased because how much I play it. It would be Mondstadt. I love exploring Mondstadt for my challenges. And my favorite character from each nation, Mondstadt Venti. Actually, now that I think about it, Liwei's characters are like kind of probably like the weakest part of its Archon quest, actually. Also, I'm not gonna go with the character from the Archon quest, then I'll probably say a Gaming. Gaming's one of my favorite characters to play, so I'll go with that. Inazuma. Oh, Kazuha. That I don't know why I blanked on that. Kazuha, Inazuma. Sumeru. Probably I'll hate them, both from a character and a a gameplay standpoint. Fontaine, Farina, easily. Natlan, character-wise, I think it's a little weak, but gameplay-wise, I'll probably say Kanichi just because I love grappling hooks. What are the top 3 most frustrating quests you have to do during solo challenges? I could make this easy and just list off quests that have no combat, so it's me going through dialogue for an hour, but I'm not going to do that. I can't put them in any order because I'm doing this off the top of my head. Inazuma Act 3, that is either not a problem at all depending on the character or like the most annoying shit in the world because of Delusion Factory and Senora. Natlan Act 4 can be annoying. It really just depends on the character I have, because if it's a character like Dia or Jean where the elemental application is terrible, that quest takes so much longer. I know I said I like the war, but if the elemental application on a character is terrible, it can be god-awful. And I guess for the last one, I'll pick a dialogue quest just because I want to. I think for this, I will probably say the Natlan filler quest, mainly because I always forget about it every time, and it makes me mad every time I'm done with Act 4 and I see that quest pop up, and it's just like, great, I have to go through another 45 minutes of going through a quest that will only have one bit of relevance in Act 5, and that's just because Capitano shows up with some medicine. That's like literally the only point of that quest. What's the worst video you've ever uploaded but can't delete it because it did too good? Noelle only. I hate that video. Alright, so I've already answered the favorites from each region, so I'll do least favorites. Mondstadt, Mika. For Leeway, I'm probably gonna say Ningguang because I just think her gameplay is boring. I'm sorry. Inazuma will go with Ayato or Sara. Ayato because I regret pulling for him, and Sara, I just don't like her gameplay. I think it feels weird. Sumeru, I really can't think of anything, if I'm being honest. I have no idea what I would say for Sumeru. Fontaine, Fremine, I just don't care, sorry. And then Natlan, let's see. I'm trying to think mainly from the story of Natlan. I'll probably say Chaska. Like, just from the Archon quest, it's probably Chaska. Like, it just didn't care, and then when her sister died, it was just kind of like... like, just try not to laugh challenge impossible for me. Will I make a video where I continue my older challenges into the new nations? And will I continue the no touching grass video? Yes, some challenges will get continued, not all. Just straight up, I'm not going to be able to do it for all of them because there's too many at this point, and I don't want to do that if I'm being honest. The starting characters will definitely be continued. I know that for a fact. I think some of the guaranteed characters will, and I'm not sure about the other ones that I've picked, but the starter characters will definitely be continued. I know that for a fact. As for the no touching grass video, I don't know if I'll make a full version of that because I kind of just like that that's an April Fool's thing. I think that kind of worked best as a short video. I know some people wanted me to continue it, and I might because there's a demand, but I personally am just kind of happy with how that went because it was designed for April Fools. How did I meet other Genshin YouTubers? There's not really a story. Either I DM'd them or they DM'd me. That's literally it. What tip do you have for content creators trying to make new stuff but fear they might be doing something that's already been done? On YouTube, there's plenty of things that you can do new, but there's also plenty of things that have been done already. Just because something's been done doesn't mean you can't do it. You can do things that have already been done, but you have to make it different. You have to make it you. Because if you're trying to make it like how someone else has done it, then that's the problem. I know Ludwig has talked about this where it's the yoink and twist. You can use someone else's idea, you just have to make it you. Because if you're taking someone else's idea and following how they executed that idea, then it's just stealing. But if someone just had an idea and you're like, okay, how can I do this, but how can I make this more me, or how can I make this different, then that's fine. You just need to make it different. Like Pokemon Nuzlocke, for example. Most people have done Pokemon Nuzlocks, and it's not exactly creative to do a Nuzlocke, but how you tell your story and what happens in your run, it's always different between creators, so that's what you have to focus on. It is okay to do idea that other people have done, you just need to be different about it. I just started making videos. Any advice? Basically, just throw shit at a wall. Keep doing things and find something that sticks. When you start off fresh, you can do no wrong, you can only do right, so just find out what works for you. What other games would I like to post onto the channel, and would I create a separate channel to post those other games? I would rather not make a separate channel to post other games. I'd rather keep everything on this channel. As for other games, I would like to do other, like, Nintendo games. I would like to do Sonic games, Souls-like games. It's hard to say, just games that I would enjoy. I'd like to get to the point where I can kind of post a video about a game that I enjoy, possibly do a challenge on it, and people watch it. It's hard for me to say which game in particular I'd want to do because, I mean, I have different feeling towards games at any given moment. Like right now, I really want to make a Sonic Heroes video, and that would probably happen like next year if I do it, but yeah, I mean, like, just, I have constant, like, different mood swings about games and stuff, so I'd like to be able to get to the point where I could just, if I feel like playing a game, I can make a video on it and not really have to worry about its performance. Do I plan on making a Genshin solo run for every 4-star at some point? Absolutely not. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. How long does it take for me to make the anime openings for my challenges and also the thumbnails for my videos? So for the anime openings, that usually takes about a day or half a day, like probably between 3 to 5 hours usually is what I would say for the most recent ones. I think the longest one for me was probably the no healing. I had a lot of help with that because I was able to look at a video of someone who did an anime opening that was very similar, Genshin. They had done a specials opening, and I knew for that my no healing video specials would be a good opening for it. But then I saw that they did it, and I was like, I don't want to look like I'm copying, but like they had like the perfect template for it. So I DM'd them, and they were really nice about it, and they let me use their work as inspiration. And I made sure to keep some differences in there, but that was probably the one that took the longest. It was that, and maybe the Amber opening, because that was the first time I ever did an anime opening, so that one also took an extremely long time. As for the thumbnails, I don't do my thumbnails anymore, as you guys know. The only thing I do on my thumbnails now, if it's not completely made by my artist, the only thing I do is just include the Genshin Impact logo and then the type of the challenge with the font and stuff. It used to take me like about an hour because all I had to do was just like find an image from like the comic or manga and just crop that out. But now it's just my artist. We just talk about potential ideas and like just this character, what type of expression we want to do, etc. And I asked her because I saw this question. I think she said it takes her around like 3 to 4 hours to do the art. So yeah, that's what the thumbnail situation is like. How do I feel knowing that people look forward to each and every one of my videos and feel inspired by them too? I know I do. Lol. Thank you. I really do appreciate that, and honestly, I mean, it's just a dream come true. I feel like I could talk forever about how much this stuff means to me, and I know I don't sound like enthused about it right now, but that's just my normal voice. But I can't explain how much this all means to me, because like this is everything, you know. This is who I am. Just thank you for letting me be me. That's really all I can say, and I'm glad that I can inspire you guys and make you feel better. How much money have you made on YouTube? Never ask a man his salary question. What did I study in college? So in college, I had a major in communications with digital broadcasting. It was the closest thing to video editing they had at my university, so I just did that. And I also had a Japanese minor. Pause, not like that. I was taking Japanese as my foreign language, and I enjoyed it, so I was like, you know what, I'll just do a minor in it. So, yeah. Since you're playing Monster Hunter in the background of this video, what's your favorite Monster Hunter game and favorite species from the series? So, I've only played, like, 2 games. I've played World and Wilds. And for species, that's really hard for me to say. I can just say my favorite monsters. I really like Nergigante. I love the Rajang fight. And honestly, I really liked Fatalis. It is a really difficult battle, but I started to love Fatalis the more I played it. Of all the challenges you've done so far, which one have you personally enjoyed the most doing? So I've already answered this question from a gameplay perspective, so I'll answer this from like editing and writing perspective. The ones I remember enjoying the most were, I enjoyed No Healing because I think I wrote that one a little differently, and I think the writing in that video is really good, especially in the first half of the video. I enjoyed editing Lynette. That was probably my favorite character only. That and Minty. Those two are probably my favorite character onlys that I enjoyed. Amber was also another one I enjoyed a lot. I don't do that editing style anymore, but that was probably the most ambitious video I made at the time because I just threw so much shit at a wall and just saw what stuck with it. So much happened in that video, and it was one of the videos to where it's like, I did a lot with it, but when I was making that video, I didn't have that big of an audience, so I didn't feel much pressure, and I took so much time making that video. That video probably took like 4 months to make, if I'm being honest, because I was just doing random parts at different intervals. I didn't have like a specific schedule that I did, so that video took a long time to make, but I did have fun making it because I was just trying out so many new things and learning different new things, so I'd say those are the 4 videos that I had the most fun making for like an editing standpoint. What advice would you give to someone who wants to be a Genshin YouTuber? Be different. There's a lot of things happening in the Genshin space, and a lot of people will like share different ideas and stuff and like that, and it's fine to share ideas, but you have to be your own person. You have to be different. That is how you stick out on YouTube. So find a way to express who you are. Also, you still sound like you play trombone. I have no idea what that means, but I appreciate that, I guess. How long do you sleep when doing only challenges? I sleep like 7 to 8 hours. Those challenges aren't done in one sitting. I literally cannot do that. I play Genshin for about like 8 hours a day during those challenges, sometimes more, sometimes less. I've never once done one of these 50-hour challenges 50 hours straight. That's not how these work. Usually what happens is once I get to a point where I'm done playing, I pause the timer, I write it down, I get off, then whenever I get back on the next day, I put the timer back up, set it to what the timer was originally, then I just unpause it. So I sleep fine during these challenges. Are you a werewolf? Per per chance. How do I feel seeing videos that are similar to yours, copying yours / inspired by you? Honestly, I'm fine if people do like challenges and things like that. The only thing that gets me is when you're either copying my thumbnail style or like sort of just like copying like the style of my videos. It's like you're not helping yourself, because if you do that, people are going to recognize that and just say, oh, why are you copying from someone? And that's just going to make you feel bad, because that's what happened to me. I used to do like Maxor boss fight videos and people are like, oh, you just got this from Maxor. It's like, and yeah, they were right, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of stopped doing it, because it doesn't feel good when you like work hard on something and people just say, oh, you just copied blank. So if you're doing challenge content, that's fine, just make sure it's different, because like if you're just copying someone, then you're not doing any favors to yourself or the person you're copying. There is a difference between being inspired from someone and just copying from them. What's your favorite Pokemon? So, top 4. In order. 4th, we got Greninja. 3rd, Infernape. 2, Dragapult. And number 1, Mudkip. I love Mudkip. And honestly, the entire line of Mudkip can be number 1. I just love that family tree. Have I ever wanted to change my content at all? Not fully change. I'd like to do more with my content, but like not like fully get rid of one, if you get what I'm saying. And if so, what other content would I make? Kind of just stuff similar to what I do now, but just like on other games, basically. Not necessarily character onlys, but just like challenges for other games, or just in general, like playing games for the first time. What is your favorite indie game, and did I ever play tactical RPGs? My favorite indie game is Cuphead, and no, I do not play tactical RPGs. I am not a very smart person. What would you personally say is your favorite food of all time, from any point in time that you've experienced it? There was this one piece of lasagna I had in a random gas station in Italy. I will never forget it. It was €7. It was amazing. I will likely never get to see that piece of lasagna again or get to experience that taste again, but it was amazing. And it just came from a random gas station, but I'll never forget it. What is the worst thing to farm on Genshin? I think like artifacts is like the only answer, because it's completely random. Originally, I would have said bosses, but they sped up the respawn timers. So now I'm just going to say artifacts because of the RNG. It's gotten better now because they have tools to help with the stats, but still, it can be annoying trying to get a good artifact. For my challenge videos, do I typically complete them in longer sittings or shorter, more spaced out ones? So generally it goes like first day is probably like, first day is usually Mondstadt, going from like AR0 to like AR16. The second day is like Act 2 and 3 of Mondstadt, then Act 1 of Leeway. The next day is usually finishing up Leeway. Then after that, it's usually like a nation a day. So those are usually my periods of time for doing these challenges. They usually take me about like 8 to 10 days to fully complete gameplay-wise. When is no artifacts and no weapons / them combined together? No artifacts will probably happen next year. Will I be combining them? Likely not, but no weapons / like skills only stuff, that thing will also probably be next year. Are you single? Yes I am. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it, by the way. Have I ever given up on a challenge? I have never given up on a challenge, but I mean, like, I guess you could technically say I gave up on the no healing one because I lost on my second attempt of it, but it was one of those things where it's like, I got so far that I was like, was it worth making a third account for that video? No, I think it was fine to just do what I did at that for that video, if that makes sense. But no, I've never gotten to any point in a challenge and be like, no, I give up. I can't do this anymore. What are your thoughts on people doing school projects about you? Yes, this person did make a school project about me, and I believe they finished it, and they posted the video on Twitter. I'll include the link to that video, like, in the description, I guess, if you want to see it. But it's definitely weird. I've been asked to, I think now in total, I've been asked to help with 3 school projects, which is, it's flattering, because it's like, I appreciate you guys, like, wanting to do stuff about me, but it's also weird, because it's like, I just never thought this would happen, you know? It's kind of just odd to me, but it's like, I'm fine with helping out. I'm not gonna be able to, like, help everyone out with everything, just because, you know, timing and stuff like that, but it's definitely been a fun experience, and like watching your video on me and like the research you went into looking at my channel was really cool to look at, and I appreciate all the information you gave out. So people doing school projects about me is like definitely a flattering experience. Why is Columbina better than Farina? Bait used to be believable. Tisk tisk tisk. How do you feel about Lena becoming such a big part of the fandom now? I think it's really funny, honestly. I like that that's also a stream joke, to where it's like, if you're in the streams, you know exactly who Lena is, but like for people that just watch the videos, they might not know who Lena is at all. So I think it's really funny that we have that as a stream thing. But also just in general, it's funny, especially because like even in the stream highlights videos, you'll just see people in the comments being like, he's still dogging on Lena, and it's really funny. And I hope that Lena doesn't mind about this. Have I ever thought about doing a Genshin Soul Link with a less experienced player so it would add a challenge? I think it would be fun to watch. I've actually gotten comments asking me to do a Soul Link, and one of them requested to do a Soul Link with Minty, my thumbnail artist, and I brought it up to her, and she said that she would be down. So there's a chance that'll happen next year. We just have to talk more about it and come up with like a rule set and stuff. But yeah, we could definitely do a Soul Link. Is YouTube your main job or a hobby, and how hard is it to start off? Yes, this is my job that I do currently. I make a living doing YouTube and playing Genshin Impact. And how hard is it to start off? I mean, everyone's journey is completely different. For me, it took me about a year to get going, honestly, to start making money. And it probably took me like a year and a half, close to 2 years to start making good money off of YouTube alone. So it can be fairly difficult to start off with. I'd recommend that if you're doing YouTube to start, I would recommend having a part-time job or another source of income to start out with, because income is not consistent on YouTube. Some months it can be good, other months it can be bad. It's always a good idea to have another form of income, reliable income to have in addition to YouTube when starting. How many feet do I think I've seen in my lifetime? I don't know. It's how many people do I think I've seen in my life, and times that by 2. So I guess probably like 24. I don't know, probably like a whole lot, I guess. I don't know. If you were to go back to university and not have to pay tuition, what would you major in? Even if it was free, I don't think I would go back to university because I just didn't like school, if I'm being honest. I guess if I had to pick, probably like, probably like history or something, just be a history teacher. I mean, that's probably what I would have done if I didn't, if YouTube didn't work. I probably just would have tried to do teaching. And history was my favorite subject in school, so I'd go for that. Also, what's my favorite sponsor that I've ever done? That's hard to say because I'm not like too invested in like the sponsors I do. I guess Ugreen, if I had to pick one, because the portable battery I actually do use whenever I go to trips like overseas or just like in the country. I usually always have that portable battery with me, so I guess Ugreen from the Kaching video, that's probably my favorite. With my name and all, have I considered making an entry on MistahFeet? So I actually didn't know what MistahFeet was prior to looking at this question, but I just looked it up, and I'm not very happy, so no, I will not be making an entry, and fuck you for making me look that up. Has there been any characters that you either like the same or as close as Farina? Kazuha used to be my favorite character, but I mean, Farina's just kind of like in a tier of her own, you know? She's perfect. If there was one video I could remake / redo, which one would it be? Noelle, because that video is just like boss fight montages, and it's really short also. I feel like I could have done more with it, but I feel bad for saying that because that's one of the videos that like made my channel blow up. But yeah, I don't like that video, so if I could redo it, I would. How do you get through all 50 plus hours a video probably takes you? I am either A, in a call with somebody, B, watching a show on my second monitor, like a show or YouTube video, or C, I am either listening to music or a podcast. It is one of those 3. What do I think will happen in the end of Genshin? We will be reunited, for real this time. Am I open to doing a 100% exploration video? I don't want to do that, no. I'm sorry. Is Genshin Impact a good game? Like, no jokes, do I think Genshin is a good game? Yes, I do think Genshin Impact is a good game. You will hear me call this game dog shit till the end of time, but I do think this is a good game. For free, you are getting so much out of Genshin Impact. Like, genuinely, you are getting a lot out of this game. And there's a lot of quality in Genshin, from the music to the world to even the gameplay, the character designs. There's a lot of good in Genshin Impact. So yes, Genshin Impact is a good game, but I'm still gonna keep calling it dog shit. What is my favorite gacha game that isn't Genshin? So in the past, it would have been a FGO, Fate Grand Order, but nowadays it's Limbus Company. That's the one I put the most time into. Yes, I did study Japanese, and I studied it for 3 years, and yeah, I'd say it was fairly hard. It's mainly the sentence structure that you have to get used to, and also memorizing kanji. Kanji was the main problem I had when learning Japanese. And will I do a no healing / shielding challenge? I mean, I could, I guess. I mean, I already did a no healing challenge, and I felt like that was enough. I don't think that adding a no shielding thing is necessary because, you know, I don't discriminate against the characters to choose in Genshin, so I kind of think it's fine the way it is, honestly. Was there a character that really made me want to play Genshin? I can't say there was one that made me want to play the game. I remember before I actually installed it, I was looking at the characters that they had available, and I thought Xiao looked cool. That's kind of the only thing I can remember in my pre-Genshin days. Do I have a dog? Yes, I do. I have a miniature beagle, and his name is Charlie. He was in the MistahFeet video. Are you still in school? And if so, how do you balance YouTube / social media and school? By the way, love your videos. Thank you. So I am not still in school anymore, but I can tell you what I did when I was and how I balanced it. Basically, all I did was, as soon as I got out of school, I would go to work, which was at a sorority kitchen. And then once I was done with that, I would go home and immediately do all my schoolwork. Basically, all I did was anytime I had free time in school, like in between classes or when I was done with work, I just did my homework immediately first. That way I could work on YouTube as much as I wanted afterwards. So that's how I balanced it. If I had homework, I immediately did it. It's just simple as that. What is my favorite game? So my favorite game of all time is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It is everything I've wanted to play in a game, and it's perfect for me. I love that game. I can play it any day. Who's the best Genshin DPS and why is it Ganyu? Ooh, in the Big 25? This 97-year-old gamer still plays Genshin the old-fashioned way. Will I continue to stream challenge runs again? Yes, I would like to. I mainly try to do it for the non-character challenges just because it's more fun that way, and I think it's more fitting because for the character challenges, I feel like there's just not much for me to I feel like it's not as entertaining to watch because, it's just one character doing something, and I feel like there's just not really anything to really show for those. Main reasons why I don't stream as much is because, one, I can feel pretty stressed to do these challenges to try and get them out as fast as possible, so when I'm not streaming a challenge, I feel like I can do that better. I can do these challenges much faster when I'm not streaming because I don't have to worry about, being entertaining and stuff like that, and I also don't do it because of the environment that I'm in. Which character do I regret pulling for the most, and who do I regret skipping/missing the most? So the one I regret pulling for the most is Ayato. I thought I would enjoy him, but no, that guy was just kind of a waste. As for the one I regret skipping/missing, I don't really have one. I kind of already have the characters I want. I guess if I had to pick, it would be Zhongli because he's the only Archon I don't have. On the Loke, who's your main in Smash? The three characters I played the most in Smash Ultimate were Joker, Marth, and Sephiroth, so it's those three. This question is basically asking, would you consider making an OC to represent the channel? And yeah, we've kind of got something for that right now. Minty's made some for me. It's basically just a guy with brown hair and a MistahFeet blindfold. I like the blindfold idea that she did, and when I first commed her and posted on Twitter, there was people who did make fan art and they started doing the blindfolds also, and I really like that. So if you would like a basis for a MistahFeet character to make fan art of, you could just probably do something along these lines. I'll show some images, but yeah, I'd love to see a fan art for a MistahFeet character. I always enjoy looking at art that gets sent to me. What do I do in my free time when I'm not doing challenges? Touching grass in another game or IRL. So when I'm not doing work, I'm either playing a game with friends, I'm either going out with friends, or I'm at the gym. Those are the three main things I do in my free time. Does mom approve of you marrying Farina? Mom does not know. What is my usual team in Genshin? I tend to swap out different characters just because I like to have some diversity, but I mean Farina's usually almost always on there. So right now my usual team is Farina, Kokomi, Escoffier, and Ayaka. Have I ever had any scary/creepy experiences? Yeah, when I was younger, I used to play FNAF scratch games in the computer lab, so yeah, that's pretty scary. Yes, I have had some scary and creepy experiences. I'd rather not talk about them, but one of the sillier ones I can say is one that happens damn near every day, and it's my dog bursting into my room and jump scaring me on a daily basis. Because sometimes what he would do is scratch at my door so I'd let him in, but my door doesn't fully close all the way, and sometimes it'll just slightly unlock and push itself open. So what my dog will do is he'll just walk straight into the door loud as hell, and it scares me every time. He just comes in here without knocking. What would I rather do again? Lisa versus Aleph, Mona versus Oceanid, or no healing versus no hit Dvalin? Okay, so is this in the context of me now? Because if it's in the context of me now, to where it's I know what I could do for these situations, probably no hit Dvalin, since I quite literally know that entirely well, and I could probably do it. I could probably do it in the next 5 tries, if I'm being honest. If we're talking about back when I was doing these things for the first time, I mean, both the Lisa and Mona one are completely RNG based, but if I had to pick one, probably Mona, because the Lisa one took so long, much longer than the Mona. So if I had to pick one, I would probably say Mona versus Oceanid. Do I consider myself as the most sane Farina husband? I consider myself the only Farina husband. Thank you very much. Where did the username MistahFeet come from? There's 2 parts to it. So the feet part came from when I used to play a little bit of competitive Smash. Whenever I went to tournaments, I couldn't think of a name, so I was like, you know what, let's go with Feet, because when the guys have to announce who's going up against who, he'll have to say Feet, so it'll be funny. And when I made a YouTube channel, I was like, you know what, I can use that, but it's I can't just do Feet because, that's just weird. You can't just do Feet. So I I remember there is a YouTuber that I used to really watch a lot. It was Mr. T Lexify, and he always said his name as Mista, so it was Mista T Lexify. So I just combined the two, and that's how I got MistahFeet. What was the very first ever game you played in your life, and the most recent? Which do they compare? So if we're being literal, my first ever game that I played, I think, was Sonic Heroes on the PS2, and the last one I played was the Power Wash Simulator 2 demo. I played that for a little bit last night. Do they compare? I don't know how you would compare Sonic Heroes to Power Wash Simulator, but I know I can't, so I say no, they do not compare. Out of all the challenges I've done so far, what was the most mentally tasking? I'm guessing you're saying this in the context of what, like, the challenge itself took the most out of me. I would probably say the Mona one, the no healing, considering I messed up, like getting close to Inazuma, so that was a little stressful. The Shung Ling video, surprisingly, mainly just because for the gameplay on that one, I was just kind of going through the motions, you know? And I feel bad about that one, because I was just playing through it. I didn't really feel like I did too much with that, so I would say those three are probably the most mentally taxing. Who is my favorite wrestler? Of all time, probably CM Punk, because I got into wrestling around like 2011, so he was the guy on top of the world by then, and you know, he's always been like a very important part of my life since, so I'm gonna say CM Punk. What do you wish to achieve in life? 3 things that I would like to achieve. I would like to reach 1 million subs. That would be a dream come true. Well, I mean, the second one would be I'd like to be a millionaire. And a third one, if I could ever get to this point, I would like to have a vacation home in Tuscany. I went to Tuscany one time, and it was amazing. It was so pretty, and the food was amazing. It was so amazing. I'm going to keep saying amazing because it was. So if I could ever get a dream home in Tuscany, I would love to do that. And those are like the 3, like, I guess, physical things I would like to achieve in life. Ultimately, the thing I want in life most is to just be happy. So as long as I'm able to do things that make me happy, that's really all I can ask for, to be honest. Have I ever tried racing games? If it's a racing game, it's usually a kart racing game, and I love those. You'll see me playing Sonic, the new Sonic kart racing game here in a bit. I love kart racing games. I've been a big fan of it since like Mario Kart DS, and I played Mario Kart 7 so much that I literally broke one of the bumpers on my 3DS, so yeah, I'm mainly big into kart racing games. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate Duvall? 47. What is the most fulfilling moment of your career so far? There's 3 things that come to mind. The first being my first ever video to hit 1 million views. That was I waited 7 months for this character, my Kazuha summoning video. That meant a lot to me when that hit 1 million. The second would probably be the feedback on the Mizuki video with people opening up about their experiences with mental health. That was really nice to see. I'm glad that people were able to express themselves or feel comfortable to talk about things that they were experiencing. The last thing I can say was probably when my shitty gacha game video reached 1 million views. That really meant a lot to me because that video is completely different from the rest of my channel. You know, there is not a single other video like that video, and the fact that I was able to get a video with 1 million views and it's just me and my friends laughing and goofing around, you know, that meant a lot to me. Which region is my favorite to explore and which one is my least favorite? So my favorite to explore was Inazuma. I think Inazuma is just really nice to explore around. I liked going around the different islands. They each felt different, so I enjoyed them a lot. As for the least favorite, Sumeru. I always hate desert levels in like any video game, and I did not enjoy exploring the desert. If you had to be stuck in any region in Genshin, which one would it be? You'd live the rest of your life as a normal guy in that region. Probably Mondstadt, because you would have the most freedom to do what you want. I think that's just the easiest one. I was going to say Fontaine, but Fontanians are kind of like assholes, so I think Mondstadt's a good answer. Do you side with the Natlane hate part of the players, or did you actually enjoy it? I thought Natlane's Archon Quest was good. I'd say it was under Fontaine and Sumeru. My biggest problem with the Archon Quest was that the characters were done like pretty terribly, if I'm just being honest. I felt like the character writing in the Natlane Archon Quest was done really badly. I feel like we didn't get a chance to know any of them, and they were just representatives from the tribe, but it feels like their characters didn't really evolve past that, if that makes any sense. Like, Mualani was the spring person. Kachina and Shalonen were the people from the Geo tribe. Kanich was the Dendro tribe guy, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like they've really suffered in that department. I think Seat Lolly and Auroron were probably the best ones character-wise, if we're looking at just the Archon Quest alone. But like Moika, I thought she was just okay. And overall, I just feel like Natlan's characters, if you are looking from just their Archon quests, were a lot weaker compared to how Sumeru and Fontaine treated their characters, especially Sumeru. Sumeru put a lot of attention onto their characters and gave them more depth. How many times do I shower/bath in a week? Between like 7 to 9 times I take showers. I usually do it after the gym or like if I'm going out for the day. Yes, I do take baths and showers, okay? I'm not a stinky boy. Has one of my challenges physically hurt me, or have I raged so hard that I've had to take a break for a while? I had to take a break when doing Lisa versus Aleph. I know that for a fact. It would, because I had to restart the domain every time in order to fight Aleph, and it just got too much, so I was like, you know what, I'm doing this tomorrow. As for physically hurt, I know that I clicked my mouse so much during Amber Only that I did eventually have to get a new mouse after doing that challenge. As physically hurt, no walking. I think that did hurt my hand for a bit. I don't think I got carpal tunnel, or I'm like definitely sure I didn't get carpal tunnel, but like that challenge did hurt my hand. I had to be careful with my hands when I wasn't doing that challenge, make sure I wasn't doing anything too strenuous. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Top 3. Mint chocolate chip, Rocky Road, and cookie dough, or like a variation of like cookies and cream. One of those two. I don't get why people say mint chocolate chip tastes like, I don't know what a mint chocolate ice cream you're getting, but clearly it's not the correct ones because they taste nothing like toothpaste. If you had the chance to go back from the day before you started YouTube, what would you say to yourself? Honestly, I probably would have said, you should have done this earlier, just straight up, because that's my biggest regret with YouTube is not doing it earlier. Does your mom know how much you've spent on Genshin accounts? If not, would you have the courage to tell her? No, she has no idea how much I've spent for making videos and stuff. Would I tell her? I mean, if she asked. I mean, it's like, that's not something I like have to tell her. I don't have to like, that's not something I have to be like, hey mom, I spent $100 trying to get this one character in Genshin Impact so I can make a video. What are your thoughts? Like, I've never done that. And like, in total, if she wants to know, I mean, I'd tell her, but I don't think she'd mind too much. She'd probably have like an initial shock, but then she'd be like, well, you're gonna make up that money anyway, so it doesn't matter. What's your top 3 Enigma of Sepia characters ranked by how good they would be at playing Fortnite blindfolded? I gotta go with Little Sai, Satoria, and Lyra. Those 3 are the GOATs by far. I think they would absolutely crush it at Fortnite blindfolded. Did I enjoy the no damage challenge? I know you said you were excited to do it, but it looked like you did not have a fun time. I enjoyed parts of the no damage challenge. I enjoyed parts of it. Definitely like Senora, Dvalin. Those were very infuriating to do, but my Genshin challenges, I enjoy it when there's something for me to work towards, you know? It's really satisfying for me to come up with a strategy and it work off, you know? Like using Overload, the crystallized shields. That stuff is fun to pull off and it's satisfying, so I enjoy doing that. But when it's stuff like the Dvalin section or Senora, to where it's like just a small bit of damage hits you and you have to restart, then it gets really annoying. Where did I go on my last vacation? I guess the last technical like vacation I took was when I went to the UK. I went to go visit my friend in another state like a couple days ago for 4 days. I don't know if you'd count that as a vacation, but if you do, then I guess that would be it. But yeah, they were I'll just talk about both. Yeah, they were fun, and I did get to relax. It was pretty cool. I got to ride a camel on one of them, which was like one of the highlights of my life. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Which was more painful, Mona versus Oceanid or Dvalin no hit? I answered something kind of similar to this earlier. Probably in general, Mona versus Oceanid, simply because once I figured out Dvalin no hit, like, I figured it out, you know? Mona versus Oceanid is completely based on RNG. If you get, like, the fucking squirrels or boar, you're done. Just straight up, you're done. So I'll say that was more painful. I think it also took me longer in total just because of bad RNG and dealing with the Eye of Perception, especially when the orb kept flying off into nowhere. Just, that was bad. Yeah, I'll say Mona versus Oceanid. That was probably more painful. Do I have any dream collabs that I wish could happen? I guess if I had to pick one, probably Alpharad, I guess. That'd probably be the big dream collab if I could ever do something with him. Probably the big toe, because it has character. Would I come to Brazil? Perchance. I don't have anything against Brazil. Oh, my pen fell. But yeah, it seems like it would be cool. God damn it. What are my favorite music artists / bands? I don't really listen to any bands in particular. For music artists, I would probably say Joji, Post Malone, and Bruno Mars. Those 3. After a few collabs with other Genshin CCs, how do you feel about becoming a part of them? I enjoy being a part of the collabs. They've honestly been a lot of fun. I know that during those collabs, I might be a little more like shy, reserved, but that's just how I am around people that like I may or may not like. But that's just like kind of how I am, because you know I'm still like trying to understand understand people, know what I can and cannot say, things like that. Some of those things, but I've always enjoyed every collab that I've been a part of. Like, genuinely, I've always had fun doing it, and I'd be more open to doing them in the future. Which anime opening is my favorite? My favorite is probably my my No Game No Life one that I just made for the No Hit run. I think that's probably just the best one I've made. Like, from a visual standpoint, it looks really good. Minty helped draw the art that I used in the beginning. Overall, it just came together really well. I enjoyed that one and my Pokemon one for the No Damage one. Those two are my favorites, but if I had to pick one, it would be the from the Hitless video. What are the most painful moments you had to witness in your challenge runs? There's Lisa Aleph, level 1 characters Aleph. Those were very rough. Let's see. I mean, Mona Oceanid, things like that. No Hit Dvalin, obviously. But if I had to pick one, it would honestly be at the beginning of the Mona video. I had to drop like over $400 just to get the Eye of Perception, so that was definitely painful, spending hundreds of dollars on a 4-star weapon that I didn't end up getting, but I somehow got both of the 5-star weapons on that banner before I could get a single Eye of Perception, so yeah, fuck that. Do I like taking naps? Honestly, no. I don't like taking naps because I feel like I'm missing out on doing work, if I'm just being honest. Am I pregnant? Well, according to some of the art you guys make, yes. Do I use the media references in my videos because I enjoy these shows, or do I just put whatever is funny in there? Most of the time, these references are from shows that I have seen, but other times, it's just because I think it's funny, like Steven Universe. I watched some episodes of it as a kid, but I have not seen the entire thing, so there are occasionally times where it's just because I think it's funny, but most of the time, it is from a show that I've seen. Most of the time. How much money have I spent in total, and which account did I spend the most money on? I can't really tell you how much I've spent in total, but the one I spent the most on, I think, was Mona, simply because of the weapon. So, yeah. If I could choose one character to get for a new player who knows absolutely nothing about Genshin, who would I choose? I feel like the safest answer would be Zhongli, simply because you could just use his shield and then not have to worry about damage. So they wouldn't have to worry about all the moves they're getting hit by and stuff like that. In total, how long did it take to record all of my challenges? I don't know the exact answer, but it's probably at least 1,000 hours if we're just being honest, because of how many accounts I've made. It's probably close to 1,000 hours. Yaoi or Yuri? Yuri, how did I first find out about Genshin Impact? I learned about Genshin from one of my friends. We were just on a call one day, and I was looking for free games to play, and he was like, "You gotta try Genshin. That game's free." So I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." Who is my favorite Vocaloid? I only really listen to Miku, so that one by default, I guess. Can I please play Overwatch 2 and stop calling it a bad game? I have played Overwatch 2 before. I have a deep history of Overwatch. That's why I call it a bad game, because I've played so much of it. What is my favorite show / anime? If we're talking about like a TV show, it's either the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones or The Sopranos. And if we're talking about anime, it's Clanad After Story. And of those 3, if I had to pick, it would be Clanad After Story. That is probably the most impactful media that has been in my life, if I'm just being honest. Does the word pneumo, no ultramicroscopic, silica volcano, no noniosis, whatever the fuck, give you HIPAA, I'm not doing that again, and make you want to support the act of anti-de-establishmentarianism? No. Which Uma in Uma Musume is my favorite? Gold Chip, because she's funny and random. If you and Farina had a child, what would you name it? Adrian. What is my spice tolerance? I'd say for a quirked up white boy, it's pretty good, honestly. What did it feel like when you were first approached by large content creators like Tawanto for a collab? Was I excited, overwhelmed, etc.? I was not approached by Tawanto. I DM'd him, and the fact that I got a response back from creators like Tawanto and Ant is still kind of jarring to me. My reaction was, oh wow, they know I exist. You know, because I always like view myself as like a small fish in a big pond, so knowing that the like larger creators of Genshin, like the faces of Genshin, knew of my existence was definitely like pretty jarring for me. When did I have the click that YouTube would be my career? Probably around the time where my channel hit like 1 year, because September of 22 is around when my channel like blew up, August, September of 22, and I remember being in class just constantly checking my phone and seeing the numbers going up and just like not believing it and just being so excited about it. And then probably once I got my second paycheck, I was like, okay, I think this can be my career, because I made around $2,000, but that was just from like videos I had made previously. Like that wasn't based off of new uploads. So I was like, if I'm making this much from just my past videos, I definitely feel like I can make so much more if I actually like get the time to make videos. So honestly, probably once I first started to get views, I was like, okay, I think I can actually do this. How many accounts do I have in my name? So someone actually did a school project on me, and they did answer this question, and the answer I believe right now is like 30. So, yeah. What was your reaction to getting paid for the first time? And did I know that this was what I wanted to do for work? Yes, I always knew I wanted to do YouTube full time. But my reaction to getting paid for the first time, so my first ever YouTube check was like, I think $626, which was double what I made working part-time at the kitchen. So I was extremely happy. And that money only came from like 2 weeks of being monetized. So I was like, if I can make $600 from just 2 weeks, imagine like what I can make if I have a full month. So I was really excited. And that was my first time ever like getting like actual money, you know? So I was extremely happy. If you had to pick a traveling companion in Genshin besides Paimon, who would it be and why? Farina, because she's amazing. But an actual answer, I guess, would probably be Kazuha because, I mean, he's used to traveling around and stuff, so he would probably be very handy to have as a companion. He would know what to do, what to look out for, things like that. If I had to make a JoJo's themed team, what do you think it would look like? So for a Genshin team, I think Farina would be on there, not just because, like, favorite character, but just because of the poses she does, especially with the charge attack. Razor because his ultimate is basically a stand. Chiori just because of the fashion, and I'll go Shalonen because of the music. How do you lock in for college? Do your work as soon as you get it. Do your work as soon as you get it. That's all I did. Seriously. What is your favorite Limbus Company center / Kanto? So my favorite Kanto is actually Kanto 4. I think Kanto 4 is just like absolutely goated. As for my favorite center, my 3 favorites are Yiseng, Honglu, and Gregor. But if I had to pick, I'd probably say Yiseng just because his character, I always enjoy seeing Yiseng on my screen, especially after Kanto 4. I always enjoy his presence. Do I have any plans to collab with other CCs in upcoming character challenge videos? At the moment, no. I can't really think of any for the Archons. However, I will say that I am thinking about making a series that is like 4 collabs, you know? Like potentially doing only, like character only runs that are like designed with me doing a collab in mind, if that makes sense, you know? Pure Genshin speedrun win. I don't really have much interest in doing a pure Genshin speedrun simply because I find it hard to speedrun a game that like forces you to look at the cutscenes, you know? Because like that's not really that interesting to me. I know that I have a timer for my challenges, but if I'm gonna be honest, that timer is mainly for me to keep notes. That's how it started. And I mean, I use it to compare other people's times and stuff, but I don't really have much of an interest in doing a pure speedrun just because there's too many cutscenes, you know? Like that's not really entertaining to me for a pure speedrun, if that makes sense. What is my favorite challenge series that I've done and why so? So for the 3 that I've done, it would be the starting characters, the guaranteed characters, and the standard banner 5 stars. If I had to choose, I would probably say the guaranteed characters simply because I just found those characters to be the most interesting, and those were the ones I had like the least amount of experience with. So characters like Lynette, Kale, Barbara, Kachina, like characters I don't really use on my main account, I got to use them for those videos, and I enjoyed them to an extent, you know? Some more so than others, but I felt like those were the most interesting group of characters to work with. If Genshin were to add a new element, what would I want it to be? Something like Imaginary or Quantum, or like Light and Dark, whatever they'd want to call it. Something along those lines, if that makes sense. If I could cosplay a character from Genshin, who would I cosplay? Probably Capitano, just because the outfit would be cool, and I could still be anonymous, kinda, somewhat. And if it would be outside of Genshin, it would probably be Johnny Joestar, because, you know, that's my goat. Do I have any plans to add a new element of uniqueness to the Archon-only videos? I have actually thought of something. I've thought of doing a stipulation to where for the Archons, making it to where, like, for example, if I did, or when I do Zhongli only, I can't use a shield, or something like that. I don't know, something along those lines to where it's like a stipulation for the Archons. However, I'm not sure if you guys would be okay with that, because like Venti was fine. I didn't make any changes to Venti. So if you guys would like me to add stipulations for the Archons, I will likely do a poll on the YouTube community page at some point to decide that, but I'm curious to know what you guys would think about that. Would you like me to add stipulations for the Archons, yes or no? Do I think Ishmael from Limbus is best girl? If not, why? No, it's Faust, because it's Faust. Faust clears. Sorry. How old am I? I'm 23, so I'm not Unk. I don't know why people call me Unk, but I'm not Unk. How are the cobblestone generators that are my kidneys? I think I've still got like 2 stones left to go through, but yeah, they're doing fine right now. I mean, I'm not in any pain. Would you ever go to any conventions or events, or have I already? Yeah, I've gone to cons before. I just don't really make announcements about it, aside from like the one Twitch con that I went to in Europe this year. I just don't really announce when I'm going to stuff, but yes, I have been to cons before. Why did I pick that song for my outro? I heard it in a Smash trailer, and I was like, wow, this is a really nice song. I would love to use this for a YouTube outro if I ever became a YouTuber. And I started making YouTube videos and was like, you know what, now I can use the song for the outro. So that's what I did. Did I lose any accounts during the Genshin age verification? Yes, I did actually. I knew that I wasn't going to do every single challenge that I've done in the past, have that be continued. So yes, I did lose some accounts, unfortunately. But I did make sure to save a bunch of them. So the most popular ones, they are going to get a continuation. Have I had any memorable interactions with voice actors that are in Genshin? Yes. I remember all of my interactions with the Genshin VAs that I've met. I'll just say the Genshin characters. I've met Aether, I've met Hu Tao, I've met Venti, Shogun, Zhongli, and I think that's it for, like, IRL interactions that I've had. The ones I remember the most, the one I'll say is, with the Shogun, because when she signed the print that I picked, I asked her to write down the phrase, none can contend with the almighty Raiden Shogun in the Musa no Hitotachi, and she did write that down, she signed it, and I remember just apologizing, I'm like, I'm so sorry, this is such a long phrase, and she was like, no, it's completely fine, I promise. So, yeah. I remember all of my interactions, but that's one of them that I'll share with you guys. What is the longest and shortest time it has taken to record a video? So for the longest time, it was probably no healing since I had to like restart an account. And the shortest time it's taken to record a video, Bennett. It's either Bennett or Venti, honestly. Those challenges went by extremely quickly. How many hours do I have on Genshin? I don't know the official answer to this. If I were to guess, though, in total, including all of my accounts, including my main account, probably close to 2,000. If I had to guess, 2,000 hours. That would be my best guess. What has been the most meaningful life advice or experience you've gotten from your parents, relatives, or anyone in general? Something that really sparked change in your life? Let's see. That's a bit of a loaded question. There's a couple things I keep in mind. Like, there's, like, old stuff you hear as a kid, like, treat others how you want to be treated. That's something I keep in mind. There's other things too, like simple things where it's like focus on yourself, things like that. But there is one thing I can definitely say changed my way of thinking for the better. When I was younger, I was really hooked on a girl, and she didn't like me back, and she was stuck in my head for months, even years. I couldn't get over her. But I think either I might have seen this like on a random comment on like an Instagram like reel or YouTube comment somewhere. Either way, but I saw this phrase, and it really, like, helped, like, set me straight. You don't need to be worrying about this stuff anymore. And the comment was like, you are wasting minutes, hours, days, weeks, and even months thinking about a person that isn't even wasting seconds on you. And when I read that, I was like, you know, they're right. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's silly when you think about it, too. It's like, because you are dedicating so much energy to someone that's not reciprocating, so it's like, what's the point, you know? Why would you do that? Like, look at yourself in a third-person view and see how silly that would be. So that's what I did. It actually helped. I stopped thinking about it, and I became much more motivated to like do my own goals and things like that. So yeah, that really set me on track. What character do you theorize would be the best for a solo run that you are not doing? That's hard to say. You're basically asking me to pick out a potential man. The best solo character, honestly, was either going to be Jean or Bennett, just straight up, because those are the characters that had the self-sustain, the damage, and all the things like that. I can't really think of any other character because those were the two characters that I was like, these are like 1,000%, you know, like the best ones. Because a lot of characters in Genshin don't have the self-sustain that they do while also having the damage. Most of the time, it's either more focused on healing or more focused on damage. Jean and Bennett kind of had like that perfect mix, you know? How much time do I need to prepare a video from A to Z on average? On average, it probably takes me... Because recording the gameplay is between like 8 to 10 days, usually, give or take. Writing takes me about 2 days. Recording is 1 day. Then editing the gameplay is probably about like another 8 to 10 days. So it's about like 20 to 25-ish days to fully make a video from A to Z. Sometimes I'm able to do it faster, sometimes it takes me longer. It just depends. Do I think I have Sigma aura? Obviously, I'm in a league of my own, no one else compares. What caused me to start doing challenges after Goku only #1? I was waiting to do Goku Sumeru, but I was like, I have 5 months until Sumeru probably comes out, so I can't just like sit around and not do anything. And I was like, well, the game gives you Amber to start off with, so let's try that. Then I was like, well, the game also gives you Noelle to start off with, so let's try that. And, you know, it just went from there. What is your favorite mommy ASMR video? I'm a big fan of the frying pan series. I love those videos. Is there one particular piece of dialogue that every time you start these challenges makes you want to just throw a chair at your monitor or a cutscene? I mean, you guys know some of the obvious ones, like the pressure getting to you, the things like that. The one that's always bugged me, there was one in Mondstadt to where it's like Jean is talking about something and she avoids the subject, or she changes the subject, and then Venti was like, wow, that was a really good save. She did a great job at changing the subject, and it's like, okay, dude, the glazing's insane. All she did was introduce a new noun. Like, it's really not that crazy, dude. Not really Genshin related, but I started college today, and I was wondering if you have any advice on how to make friends or get used to this new environment as an introvert. So, the best advice that I can honestly give for making friends in a new environment, honestly, find your interests. If you're into anime, games, something along those lines, and look around for clubs of those things. Simply put, that's just going to be the best way to do it. Or if you're taking classes, like if you're a fan of anime and you're taking Japanese classes, there's a pretty high chance that other people in that class are also going to be fans of anime, like just being realistic. It's hard doing it as an introvert, but, you know, hardest steps are always going to be the first one. So I would recommend trying to find clubs based around your interests and then just going to them and trying to talk to at least like one person maybe, or some people might go up to you. You know, there are extroverted people that are in clubs like that stuff, so they might come up to you and then you might find a common basis to talk about something and potentially make a friend, just stuff like that. You know, this stuff is never easy, and getting used to a new environment, it's always going to take time. But I can say this from experience, if you're going to spend most of your time in college sitting at your computer, like just going from class and going straight to a computer, you're going to be missing out on a lot. What is your upload rhythm? For example, the Kachina, you said you've been recording Dia, Mona, and Kachina, so do you record all characters but edit one video, or do you do multiple? It really depends. Typically, during the fall section, I record multiple characters at once. Then at the beginning of the year, like the beginning of the next year, I edit those videos. Then once I finish up all the like extra recordings I had piled up, that's usually when I do record footage, make video, record footage, make video. So that's usually how the rhythm goes. What kind of hot take do I have on food? I'm not sure if this is a hot take, but I hate pickles. Pickles are gross. I hate them. Get them away from me. Pickles are disgusting. Blech. I know you were very good in Japanese, but did you go to Japan, or do I want to? I would like to go to Japan, yes. I've never been, but I would like to go, like, before I turn, like, 30 or something, because I haven't studied my Japanese in a while, so I'd like to get, like, some use out of it, you know? Plus, it also seems very neat, and thank you for saying that my Japanese is good. I personally do not think so, but I do appreciate it. What is on my mind while doing these hard challenges? Honestly, not much. I literally look like this, like, most of the time when I'm making my videos. When did you and Farina marry? April 15th. Yeah, that's the anniversary, April 15th. Yep. What was it like fighting Aleph only using Lisa for 4 hours? You tell me, Fed, Phi 9, and Q. You tell me, what do you think it was like? Obviously, it was terrible. It was terrible. Do I have a brother or sister? Yes, I have an older brother. He's 4 years older than me. Donna YouTuberを見る。最近、全然 YouTuber が見えない。とても忙しいから。でも、時々、プロレスの YouTuber を見る。働くながら YouTuber を見るのは大変です。If I could choose one character to voice in Genshin, who would it be? I think I've gotten a question like this before, and previously I said an NPC that would tell Paimon to shut up. But if you're asking for a playable character, I think I would actually be a pretty good Paimon. I did audition for the most recent one when they changed VAs. I can play the audition tape right here, actually. What is my favorite video? So, my top 3 favorite videos would probably be Venti only. I really like that video. The shitty gacha video. That's probably the funniest one, I'd say. And Mizuki. I like the Mizuki video all throughout the entirety of it, which is something I can't really say for all my videos, but for Mizuki, I think it was good all throughout. So those are my 3 favorites. I know you use sitcoms in your videos. What's your favorite and how many did you watch? The only ones I can really think of that like I've watched were like Friends and Big Bang Theory. So I guess it's between those two. And if I had to pick Friends, those are like the main sitcoms I think of. I watched like some Disney sitcoms like Sweet Life and things like that when Disney was big in their live action shows, but the, I guess, adult ones that I watched were Friends and Big Bang, and Friends is my favorite. How did it feel to do the no-hit video, and do I still have beef with Dvalin? Yes, fuck that dragon. That video was definitely tiring, exhausting even, but it was very rewarding. It's very rewarding to say that, yes, I did some of this bullshit without getting touched, and now I never have to worry about doing that again, so yippee. How did the Rex Lab slap is assassinated and Musa no Hitotachi part become a legendary moment in your videos. The Musa no Hitotachi, that became one because the line is just very, like, over-delivered, and I included it a lot in my Inazuma Traveler video, and people seem to like it there, so I just made it like a staple to include it in every video when I talk about Inazuma. As for the Rex Lapis assassinated, I don't really know, because that was not always a meme on my channel. I want to say it happened because during one of my challenges, I also said it with him, and people found that funny, so I just kept including the bit. I really can't remember the origin of it, so if someone down there can find the first video with it, I'd appreciate that, but yeah, I can't really tell you why that one also became a meme. I think it's also just because the way it's delivered is funny. If I could change an aspect of a character of my choice, who and what would I change? Oh, easy. Wanderer, we're putting some pants on him. Get those shorts out of here. What is the luckiest pull I've ever had? Getting the Eye of Perception first try on the Lisa video. That is, like, that's honestly like the peak. That could have potentially cost me hundreds of dollars to get that, but the fact that I got it on the first Standard Bender 10 pull is amazing. Which character was I most excited for when they were first released? I really wanted Ito when he came out, but I lost 50-50 on him. I was excited for Wanderer. I was excited for Nuvolette and Farina. Those are like really the main four I can think of for the ones I was most excited about. If I had to redo all of my challenges that I've done so far, but had the option to skip one during one of my choices, which one would it be and why? I'm guessing this is like, if I had to delete one video, which one would it be? And if that's the case, honestly, I'd probably say the no UI one, simply because the challenge wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I know that I've said that Noelle is my least favorite video, but that video did a lot for the channel. But no UI, I think I could have potentially gone without doing it. Do I pay my taxes? No. Do I have facial hair? Yeah, I usually rock the mustache and beard combo because I look like a fucking 12-year-old when I don't have facial hair. Would I rather restart Genshin and redo every single quest, or do a no-hit challenge while only using Mona? The latter. I can't do that. Restart in it's the fact that it's every single quest. I just can't do that. I'm sorry. I just can't. Will I make an extension for the beginner AR 0 to 45 guide? Yes, I do plan on making one, but I plan on making it, like after the Shinez release. That's my goal for the extension video. Do I think that if Genshin wasn't a thing, would I still be a YouTuber? Yes, I definitely think that I would still be trying because, I mean, my first YouTube channel wasn't even Genshin based. It was based on Overwatch. So yeah, I do think I would still have tried to do my best to be a YouTuber, even if Genshin wasn't a thing. If you could choose to only watch one show for the rest of your life, what would it be? I know I've said QnA is my favorite anime, but probably One Piece, simply because of how long it is. That way I wouldn't have to deal with repeats like the next day that I watch the show, you know? If that's the only thing I watch in a show that has over 1,000 episodes, there will be plenty of space between each other. How do I keep getting all these new accounts? It's pretty easy. Gmail. Would I rather have a Riot Game son or a gacha game daughter? That kind of depends. If the gacha game daughter is using my money, then probably a Riot Game son. If she's using her money, then probably gacha game daughter. It really depends on whose money she's using. What is my favorite Bluey episode? My favorite episode is Rain. There's like almost no dialogue in it, but I really like the music for it, and the animation is very pretty. What is my favorite pasta shape? My favorite pasta shapes, I like angel hair a lot, and I also really like a bow tie. Those two are my goats. Do I have a job outside of YouTube? Not anymore. When I was in school, I had a part-time job at a kitchen that I did alongside YouTube. How did I do on the Genshin Impact feet quiz? I actually can do pretty well on it, believe it or not. I think I can do it like with only messing up like maybe twice, but yeah, I do pretty well in those quizzes. Which Archon do I think will have the easiest time in the Archon only challenge? My predictions are either Zhongli or Farina. I think one of those two will have the easiest time. If I had to give the edge, I would probably say Farina though, maybe. Can I do a cosplay of Farina? Sure. 400k subs, I'll do a Farina cosplay. Do I ever get a headache from playing too much? No, my gamer body has adapted to the screen, so I don't really get headaches. In truth, I don't get headaches because I have blue light on my glasses. I was getting my glasses changed, and I asked my doctor, and they're like, yeah, you should probably get blue light. How is my day going so far? I mean, it's going fine. I've literally spent the past... what's this, 7 hours answering questions, so yeah, it's going fine. Voice is getting a little sore. Am I gonna do a video where I play Genshin with my mom? Probably not, because it would probably hurt her eyes, if I'm being honest, and she wouldn't be able to do it for like longer than 20 minutes. I technically have done a video with my mom before. One for, I think, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I know there was one of my videos where I think I was running with Kaya in the Traveler or something like that. I was comparing the speeds between the different character heights, and I did it in one world, and I told my mom to control the character from the iPad, and I taught her how to just like hold the sprint button and hold forward, so she did that. So she technically has been in a video where we played Genshin together. technically. How many apples can I eat before I pass out, like in one sitting? I'm not a fucking horse. I don't know. What? In the Kaching video, you mentioned getting tested for autism. Did the results ever come out? If you want the truth, I forgot to get tested. Do I feel under pressure when making content? And if so, is it because of my audience? Yes. I always feel pressure no matter what video I'm making. And I'll be honest, I'm okay with that. I think I work better under pressure, and it helps keep me straight, if that makes sense. Like, it helps give me like a deadline, give me a goal, you know, like I need to get these videos out because, you know, you guys are expecting it, right? And I mean, as you should. It's like I'm a creator. This is my job. So I need to keep doing this. So yeah, I do feel pressure when making content, and it's from both you guys and myself. Yeah, I do feel pressure, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Do I ever see myself doing a nation-only challenge? I'll be honest, no. I just don't have the interest for it. Like, honestly, I just don't. I don't really think it'd be too much of a challenge, and it'd be like way too specific to do certain things also. So I just don't think it would be, that fun and interesting, if I'm just being honest. Will I play any horror games? I think it would be pretty funny to see you get scared. Yeah, I've thought about playing this game called Genshin Impact, but yeah, I'd be down to try some horror games for the future. I think I would probably have some good reaction to these, and I mean, I've never fully played like the FNAF series, so I think that could be interesting too. So yeah, I'm interested in playing horror games. What nation would I choose to live in during the events of the Archon quest? That's a tough one. Not Mondstadt, because, I mean, you saw, like, tornadoes happen in the city and him flying over constantly with storms, so not Mondstadt. Leeway honestly wouldn't be that bad up until the last bit of it with the, with all the water going around. I'm not sure if it ever got to the city, like, that badly. Clearly it didn't, because the people were acting like it was, like, fine afterwards, so honestly, probably Leeway. Yeah, how many reroll accounts do I have for one challenge? I believe the account with the most rerolls was Barbara. Yeah, I think I made 3 accounts for her and ended up getting her on the first one. It was at the first or the third one, I can't remember, but I remember I made 3 accounts for Barbara. Why do I choose to do some characters solo and not others? I like to have a theme based around my solo characters, because I can't do like literally every character solo. I can't. I would go insane. I can't do every 4-star. I can't do every 5-star, so I'm just going to pick a theme around the characters, such as characters the game gives you for free, characters that you can get for just playing the game, the Archons, and the standard banner 5-stars. Those are the goals for like the characters only. I literally cannot do every single character. I would go insane. Should I drop off from my current college program and study for game design / computer science? I mean, I think you know the answer to that question. If you hate your current college program, then yeah, you're not going to like it later, if we're just being honest. If you don't like the program, you're probably not going to enjoy the job you get based around that program later. So if you think game design and computer science is for you, then yeah, I would swap. Have any of my challenges changed my opinions on characters drastically, and if so, which ones? Mona, for sure. I hate this character now. I used to like her, but now I cannot stand her. And from the most recent challenge, the hit list run, Lisa and Amber I have a bigger appreciation for, as well as Overload in general. I know that doesn't count as a character, but I appreciate those 2 characters more because of the work they were able to put in for that challenge, mainly because of Lisa's far attack range, which was extremely helpful, and Baron Bunny with Amber helped a lot against the enemies, as well as her pyro application with the ultimate. That was pretty good for her. Do I think I'd really continue playing Genshin for the next 20 years? I'll be honest, I'd hope not, because it's like, I feel like that's just not a healthy thing to do, you know? To stay on something for how many, that would be like 25 years. I know that like job retirements is like 25 years for certain occupations, but like, I don't want to be like that. I'd want to keep video making because that's my real passion, and I enjoy Genshin Impact, but I can't be doing this for the next 20 years, you know? I think that's just not healthy. How would your mom feel to know that there's pregnant fan arts of you? She would probably be very confused. Favorite signature weapon aesthetically? So if you're talking about weapon that matches the character, it would be Farina's, but if you're just talking about a weapon on its own, I would probably say either Mistsplitter, Ayato's sword, or Alhaitham's sword. Those are probably my 3 favorite standalone designs, and also Elegy of the Wind, Elegy of the End, whatever it is called, Venti's original signature bow weapon. Where am I going for vacation? Oh, I'm going to Disney World in Florida. I forgot the name. I was about to say Disneyland. As a faceless YouTuber, do I plan on getting a VTuber model for streaming and collabs? If yes, what would my character's ideal appearance be? At one point, I thought of doing a VTuber model, and I was like working on like a character sheet to try and figure out like a lore and traits, etc. for things like that. But I think I'd rather do a face cam than a VTuber model. And I know that's a bit of a meme because like I've said I wanted to have a face cam for years now, and the truth is I've just been like lazy to try and like find cameras and stuff to actually set it up. But I mean, I would rather do face cam than a VTuber model if I'm just being honest. Do I have any wedding photos with me and Farina? Yes, I have a couple. couple that I can show right here. Some are from my thumbnail artist, and others are fan art that was sent to me either on Twitter or Gmail. But yes, I do have some photos. How do I force myself to play Genshin when you basically torture myself? So, I mean, like, the challenges make the game more interesting, honestly. Like, yeah, the no-hit run is painful, but at the same time, it gives me something to, like, do in Genshin, you know, that, if that makes sense. It gives me something to work towards. Have I ever thought about hiring someone to temporarily progress on my challenge accounts for me? No, not really, because, I mean, these things take me, like, or like I said earlier, I think, like, 8 to 10 days to do, so I don't really have the need for someone to temporarily progress for me. I've got, like, a schedule that I do for these things, so I'm kind of just chilling on those accounts. What happens after the Archon-only challenges? So, after Archons only, it will be more of me doing, like a non-character challenge, things like that. And I would also I might try and do a collab series, I'm not sure. I could also do a voting system, but I don't want to do too many character onlys because at the end of the day, these videos are just going to be one character versus Genshin, and I've done plenty of those, you know, so I think after the Archons, it's at a point to where it's fine if it slows down on character onlys. I'm more interested in doing different types of challenges. What are my thoughts on the new Steel Ball Run announcement? Okay, so I'm excited, of course, because that's like my favorite manga of all time. I'm very much looking forward to this, and the only things I have to say negative are, one, they did the recasting for the JP voice actors. I really liked Johnny's voice specifically in the JoJo fighting games, so I'm kind of sad that he's not returning. The only other thing I could complain about would be the art style. It's not fully representative of Part 7's art style in the manga. It's more similar to like Part 5's from what I've seen, which isn't a bad thing because Part 5 has a good art style. What makes me upset about it is because the author's art, Araki, his art gets better with every part in JoJo. And Part 7's art is incredible, and I love Part 7's art style. And the fact that that's not going to be fully animated does make me a little sad, but at the same time, I can't really complain too much because I've wanted this to be animated for so long now, and it's finally happening, so I'm just happy it's here. What Genshin vision would you like to have in real life? So the one I would probably like to have in real life would be Anemo. I like wind powers. It would either be Anemo or Hydro, but I feel like more can be done with Anemo. I want to try making content similar to you, but with Wuthering Waves. Do I have any advice for challenges like those, or should you just wing it? Best advice I can say is to keep notes while recording, so whenever you are putting stuff onto the video timeline, you know where to look and what to talk about. And be different with your script writing and things like that. Make it your own style. Don't try and copy anyone, because if you do, it'll show. So express yourself in the video making process, if you get what I'm saying. How is it like to explain to people in real life that you're the Michael Jordan of Genshin Impact? I don't think I've ever said that to someone in real life, if I'm being honest. Did you find it scary / intimidating to start making and uploading videos on YouTube? If so, how did you get around it? Yeah, I mean, I think most people are going to be scared when they do something for the first time. And how'd I get around it? There's not really an answer. That you just do it, you know? Like, you just got to take that step. There's just some things in life, if you really want something, there are going to have to be things that you have to get over, and that was one of them for me. That's just how it is. Have I ever played D&D before? And if so, what is your greatest memory from it? So, I have played D&D before, but with my friend group, the DM, we play this version of D&D that he has, like, heavily altered. So, it's like, there's a bunch of different spells. So, like, the levels are much higher and things like that. Characters are different. It's entirely... The foundation is from the original D&D, but it's, like, completely different and expanded from it. One of the memories I have was when... What was it? It was a rogue, the rogue in our party, and a paladin. The characters both hated each other, and they got into this big argument. And I think what happened was the rogue was being a shithead, and our barbarian knocked him out because he was acting like a shithead. So the rogue was knocked out currently. He was unconscious. But the paladin wanted to hit him also. So he went to hit him because he just wanted to hit him while he was down, quite literally. And he rolled too high. I think he rolled like a 15, and that was strong enough to wake up the rogue from when he was asleep. So when the rogue got up, he went to attack the paladin, and I think he said he wanted to kick him in the nuts. And when he did that, he rolled a nat 20, which shattered the balls. And that spiraled into them constantly trying to hit each other back. The paladin wanted to kick the rogue in the balls and shatter his nuts too, but it didn't work. So they just kept fighting, and eventually the entire party, and there's like 7 of us, got into a big fight, and it ultimately ended with just one of the druids just casting a ginormous meteor basically onto the entire party and making us soft reset and just wipe. What is my total kidney stone count? Right now I am at 7. Or I was at 6 at the beginning of the summer, then I had another one later, so I am now at 7. In which challenge challenge did I learn the most stuff from? Probably the no stamina challenge. That, I would say that's what I learned the most from, simply because of all the different stuff I had to do with like Geotraveler rocks and being able to like mantle up there without like using stamina for climbing. So I'd say I probably learned the most during that challenge. So this is a question about ZZZ, but I've already answered this. The only reason I'm including this here is because they started off with, hey, fellow Gooner here, which like, what? Messi or Ronaldo? Cristiano Ronaldo. Suey. Love that guy. What's my most favorite comment under one of my videos? I can't remember which video it was, but there's one comment I always remember. It was like, MistahFeet isn't pregnant, but he never fails to deliver. Some stupid shit like that. How am I doing on my physical health? I'm actually doing pretty well, if I'm being honest. Like walking daily. I go to the gym most days. I walk. I do treadmill, vertical for like 13 and a half and speed at 2.5, and I do that for like an hour. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Am I planning to make some UGC content when it releases? Yeah, I would like to. It would be interesting. I'd be interested to see what the community has made for this type of content, for better or for worse. And I'd also like to do collabs, whether it be collabs I make or join other people for collabs. I think it'd be really fun. Would I rather redo the no walking or the no teleporting video? So the no teleporting video, I believe, technically took longer to do gameplay wise, but it wasn't nearly as bad on my fingers as the no walking one was, so I'll probably say no teleporting. How much time do I give myself to rest before going for another challenge? I usually give myself like probably like a day or two. Two at most is usually the break in between challenges that I go for. Was I silly today? I mean, I've only been up for an hour, but I went to go get some peanut butter crackers and I tripped, so I guess, yeah, I guess that was silly, yeah. What is my favorite thing about being a YouTuber? My favorite thing is probably being my own boss. Like, I get to do my own schedule at my own pace, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have to worry about someone telling me what to do, unless it's like for like a sponsor or something like that, but generally I'm my own boss and I appreciate that a lot, honestly. What is my skin/hair routine look like? So for my hair routine, I just do a shampoo and conditioner, and skin routine, I get hydrofacials. That's pretty much it. Do I think the whole YouTube experience changed me or my views on certain things? Yes, it has. I've got like a much bigger like understanding of like how YouTube works, how YouTubers feel with like imposter syndrome and things like that, how hard it is to have like an upload schedule, the thought process behind like writing, editing, things like that. I've learned a lot from doing YouTube, yeah. So it has changed me, and it's changed a lot of like ideas I thought about YouTube before I did so. What is my biggest hear me out? Chili from Bluey. Do I eat horses? No, I don't think I've ever been that hungry in my life. Can I play Genshin Impact on mobile one day? That sounds like it would be awful, but at the same time, you guys would probably enjoy that, so sure, I guess I could one day. What do I do with the accounts after I end the challenges? They wait. Simply put, they just wait. Do I allow fan mail? Yes, I do allow fan mail, if both physical and digital. So if you want to send me any fan mail, just send it over to my email address. And if you would also like to send me something physically, hopefully that's not a bomb, you can also email me or like DM me on Twitter and just say, hey, I would like to send blank, and then I can send you a PO box. But yeah, so if you feel like sending me any fan mail or fan art, literally just email me. When did I propose to Farina, and how long did you guys date? We dated for like 2 years, like 2 years and a month, I believe. And I proposed on my birthday. Yeah, May 12th. Yep. How do I find all of my meme images? I am chronically online. Are you planning more collabs with other Genshin content creators? I have nothing in the books right now for my channel. I think I might be doing some stuff for other creators in the future, but on my channel, I have nothing set in stone yet. In what ways do you think your recent solo runs have been easier or harder than your earlier ones? They have been easier, definitely easier, and in the sense that getting XP between adventure ranks is so much faster now. Earlier in Genshin's lifetime, the Adventurer's Handbook, whenever you completed a task, it only gave 100 XP. They changed that to where it goes up more as you get to more pages. So it starts off at 100, then on page 2, it's 200 XP, then on page 3, it's 300 XP. It makes grinding so much faster now, so it's definitely easier to do them now. What is the thing that was or is most enjoyable to you? And I hope you're doing great. Well, thank you, Belzaspore. I hope you're doing great also. For me, the most enjoyable thing to me is honestly editing. I love video editing. I love doing this. I've also gotten an appreciation for writing. I used to hate writing in school, but like teachers always said I was a good writer in school, but I never believed it because I didn't enjoy writing. And then once I started writing scripts for something that I actually like to talk about, I was like, oh man, writing's actually pretty fun. So I'd say honestly, now at this point, it's writing and editing. Those are the most enjoyable things I got going on. Which Genshin character would I slap for $1? You don't even have to pay me. I'd slap Dvalin, Senora, and Mona. I'd slap them for free. Hell, I'd pay you to let me slap them. Do I still wet my pants? And the award for the worst question in this entire video goes to this. No, I do not still wet my pants. How did I become the Michael Jordan of Genshin? I did my challenges, and then I think in the no stamina video, I just started calling myself the Michael Jordan of Genshin, and people caught on to that, and now other people call me the Michael Jordan of Genshin. So, yep, I gave myself a nickname. That's how I became it. How do I feel about the content I make? Do I still enjoy it, or is it starting to get old? I enjoy the editing parts from it. I enjoy the writing sometimes. I mainly enjoy the writing for the non-character challenges, because for the character challenges, when it comes to writing, I can feel like at times it feels like I'm saying the same thing, which is something I really want to avoid. So that's why I'm kind of glad that I'm going to be doing less character-only challenges, because I enjoy editing those, but the writing isn't as fun for me, because it's really hard for me to find stuff to talk about for those challenges, because, you know, at the end of the day, it is just one character doing the game, and I've done that like 20 times already, you know? But when it's a non-character challenge, it's more fun for me because there's more for me to talk about. What are your thoughts when doing difficult challenges, and do you think out your jokes on the spot? So when I'm doing difficult challenges, most of the time I'm like, it really depends, because like for the no healing one, I had stuff going on in the background, but like I was obviously like paying attention to a lot of stuff. So I'm still just I'm mainly thinking about what enemies are where and whether or not they're going to do a far attack or a close range attack, because Genshin enemies, they have two types of attack. It's like either far away or close. So I always try to keep that in mind. And as for the jokes, most of the time they occur when I'm writing a script, and it'll just come to me, you know? Sometimes I will have one planned out and I write it out in advance, so that way when I get to a part in the script, it's like, okay, I can use this joke. But most of the time they just come to me whenever I'm writing a script. How do I avoid burnout? You got to take breaks. It also helps that when I do my challenges, I spend like, let's say, a week and a half doing the gameplay, then I spend another week and a half doing editing. So it's like, that's a week and a half where I'm not playing Genshin for like 8 hours a day, you know? So that usually helps get me spaced out and avoid burnout. But if you're afraid you're getting burnt out, then take some steps back from it, you know? Just willingly choose to spend less time from it. You get burnt out by getting too close to the fire, okay? So if you feel that you're getting burnt, just take a couple steps back. Was it intentional that your channel colors have the same colors as the transgender flag? No, these are just my favorite colors. That's just the answer. It was not intentional. How much money would someone have to give me to beat Genshin with only Mona again? Enough money to get both Mona and the Eye of Perception. So yeah, has my mom ever used the ultimate weapon, the slipper, and if so, how many times? So no, my mom didn't beat me much. It was my dad that did, and he used a belt and then a paddle, and I didn't get whooped that often. I'd say probably like maybe 6 times in my life. Have you ever given up on something you liked that could have made your future better for something that made you feel better in the present? Well, this is a deep question. I don't really know how to answer this. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is that, like, in college, I'd have to tell people no. Like, I had opportunities to meet new people, make new friends and stuff like that, and I mean, that could have made my future better, honestly, you know, having new friends, connections, and things like that. But I would have to say no to those events, and like no to like hanging out with people and stuff like that, because I wanted to work on YouTube. And it's something to where it's like, do I regret it? Yes and no, because it's like, I mean, this is my dream job, you know, right? I don't want to pass this up because there's nothing else I'd want to do, but at the same time, you know, I am missing out. I did miss out on a lot of things in college, so I guess, yeah, I gave up on certain opportunities so I could have pursued YouTube. I don't know if that fully answers your questions, but I definitely had to make some sacrifices. Whenever you post a video and go to sleep that night, when you wake up is the only thing you hear in your head, babe, wake up, MistahFeet posted? No, because I post my videos in the morning. The only times I go to sleep after uploading a video is if I spent all night, or if I stayed up all night to get a video finished. But most of the time, I post my videos at like 10 a.m. US Central Time and then just chill for the rest of the day. What are the top 3 most infuriating moments you've had during your challenges? Those would be no-hit Dvalin, no-hit Senora, and probably Lisa Aleph if I had to pick 3. Do I plan on oiling up? No, I can't say I do. How do I have so much willpower? Because I got stuff I want to accomplish. I got goals I want. I got dreams. This is how I get to it. Dvalin is 5 inches inside you, and you're 5 inches inside the electro cube. Would you move forward or backward? I would move forward towards the electro cube because, you know, me and Aleph, we go way back, okay? We know each other inside and out. Honest opinion on My Hero Academia, and am I going to watch the final season? I will probably watch the final season now. I've seen clips of the anime, and it looks insane, but I've already read the manga. I thought the ending for it was alright, but overall, My Hero is I'd say it's a good manga. It has a good story. I don't think Deku is as bad of an MC as most people think, but I did enjoy my time with My Hero. Where did you learn to edit videos like this? It's mostly self-taught, and like monkey see, monkey do. I would see different effects on videos that I liked, and I just try to replicate it from that, basically. That's really all I can tell you. And I also looked at like Adobe in a minute, which would help with like specific editing tricks like keyframing or like transitions and things like that, but most of this is like self-taught and just looked at from other people. If I could have added any PlayStation character like Aloy, who would you add? Master Chief excluded. Master Chief isn't even PlayStation. I guess Kratos. I wasn't a PlayStation guy. I had Xbox, so I don't really know too many PlayStation stuff, but Kratos is cool, so yeah. We'll put him in Genshin Impact. Maybe he'll try and kill like all the Archons or something. I don't know. What is my favorite movie? My favorite movie is Shrek 2. That's always been my goat. That and The Incredibles are my two favorites, but if I had to pick one, it's going to be Shrek 2. Will I ever stream/record just videos that aren't specific at all? I don't know. That's hard for me to do because I just feel like that's hard for me because I just don't know if I'd be like entertaining enough, you know? That's why I haven't. I just really don't know if I can pull that off. What is my biggest motivation/inspiration in life? I mean, I've talked about like the goals that I have and stuff, but I mean, that's hard for me to answer, you know, because I want to be good, but good is such a like hard definition to have, you know? And it's something that's like you can't like physically obtain it, right? So I don't really know because it's hard to be good because there's no like physical definition for good, right? But I think that helps me because as long as I keep trying to be good, although I may never obtain it, it at least means that I'm getting better every day. So that's my motivation pretty much. Has any piece of media had a big impact on your life and what I recommend it to others? Yes, QnA After Story. It changed my life and I would 1000% recommend QnA to anybody. How tall am I in metric? Oh my god, bro, just use feet and inches. I'm 5'8.5", so I'm around like 173 centimeters tall. There you go. There! What was my journey through Limbus Company like? How'd I start? What kept me hooked? And how's it going now? So it started because I think I was scrolling on Twitter and I actually saw one of like Minty's art of a character. I think it was Don Quixote and I was like, I know I've heard of Don Quixote before because of like, you know, the story. So I was like, you know, this character looks neat. I'll give you the game a try. What kept me hooked was the characters and the story. Limbus has very interesting characters and the story is also pretty good, so that kept me going. And how is it going right now? Right now I'm just kind of chilling. I'm fully caught up on the story, so you know, just waiting for new content. I don't do Mirror Dungeon every week just because Mirror Dungeon's like low boring, but I mean, I still play the game just about daily, do my resources and things like that. What are the parts of the Genshin story that are my favorites? The one that always immediately comes to mind is the end of Inazuma. I love that cutscene so much, and like every time I listen to the music, I pause whatever I have on my second monitor or things like that, and then just watch the cutscene and enjoy it. How do I keep my youth up? I couldn't tell you. It takes me like 30 minutes to get out of bed, bro. I don't know. How big are my biceps? I don't really have an exact measurement, but I can show you this picture. Yep. Would I ever consider making an Arknights playthrough? No. And I mean this, and I don't mean this to sound like offensive at all to like Arknights at all, but if I were to pick a tower defense game to play, I would like much rather play Balloons. I just, Arknights has a higher word count than the fucking Bible, dude. I can't do that. If I could combine two challenges, which one would I do? I mean, I could just make it like easy for me and just do like Gene and Bennett only. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to do that. Can I do the Genshin Eye quiz? I've actually done it in the past. It was actually on a video by Duck. We did a lockout race, and one of the things was to do a Genshin Eye quiz, and that was one of the things I did. So yes, I have done that in the past. Who's the YouTuber/streamer you were the most excited to talk to? That's hard for me to give an answer to because I basically not grew up, but like before I did YouTube, I watched all of these people. So the fact that they like know I exist is a little crazy. So I was always like excited and nervous to talk to them before I was always nervous and excited to talk to them for the first time. Can we see your computer setup or have a room tour maybe? Dog, it's literally just in the corner of my room, a desk, 2 monitors, a keyboard found from like a school computer lab, and that's pretty much it, if I'm just being honest. Would I rather have to put the big Dendro worm boss up my bottom or the fountain narwhal? How was my first YouTube experience when I posted my first video? How did I feel? I felt nervous. The video was dog shit. It got, I think, like 5 views, half of which were like me looking at the video again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That video is nothing special. What is your opinion on the current Arknights and Limbus collab? I'll be honest, it's I don't know anything about Arknights really. The boss fights had interesting mechanics, although some of them were pretty frustrating, but it was fine. You know, I got 2 of the egos. I got the Gregor and Honglu one, so, I mean, it's whatever, you know. When would I say I enjoyed Genshin the most, and when did I feel the most burned out? I enjoyed Genshin the most probably when I first started playing, like in the early 2.0 cycles. That and at the beginning of Fontaine, those are when I had the most fun with Genshin. As for when I felt the most burned out, it would probably be around when I filmed Xiangling only. That's when I could, like, definitely feel I was like, okay, I think I need, like, a break from doing a challenge or two from these. If I were to switch lives with one character in Genshin, who would it be? Probably Minty. Bro's just like a chiller. If we're talking right now, then probably Minty. I don't know if I would want all that, the trauma and the stuff he had to deal with. So if it was like a right here, right now emerge, I would probably say Minty. If it's just ever for Genshin, like including all their backstory and stuff, I'll go Alhaitham. You know, I think I do well with that level of intelligence, you know, you feel me? Why did I discern to learn Japanese, and how did it change you? I wanted to learn Japanese because when I was younger, I always wanted to learn a language that used symbols for writing, and when I went to college, it was either Japanese or Mandarin, and I was like, you know, I like anime, so I'll just pick Japanese of the two. And how did it change me? I had a lot of fun, actually. That was like one of the few classes in college I enjoyed, was my Japanese. Both of my teachers were extremely nice, probably the nicest people I've ever met in my life, and it was really interesting learning the kanji meanings, the differences in cultures and stuff like that, learning slang and informal language, and it changed me because I just became more appreciative of the culture. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Can I give us some more info on the upcoming videos? So the Genshin rant, I'm looking forward to it because I haven't watched that video since it came out, and I know a lot's changed, so I'm interested to see what all in fact has changed and what things I suggested may have been added or not have added. As for challenges, I'm not looking forward to Nahida only. I feel like that character could probably end up being the worst character out of anyone. Just straight up. I think she could probably be worse than Mona, if I'm being completely honest. Farina, I think, would be a good one. I think she'd perform well. Shogun, I'm not entirely sure how well she would do. Muika would probably have a really easy time. And, shitty gacha video. I'm still trying to find a, bad gacha game, but you know, there's plenty of those out there, so I'm sure I'll find one and have a good time with that. What games did I play before Genshin Impact? Smash, Smite, Overwatch, Cuphead. Those are the main ones I can say. Those are the main things I played before Genshin. What is my type? I don't know. Like cute and nerdy, I guess, and a good sense of humor. That's really all I can think of. What was your weirdest fan interaction? I can't say that I've had a weird fan interaction. IRL, I've met 2 fans at TwitchCon earlier this year in Europe, and they were both really nice interactions. I enjoyed both of them. It was really cool to meet fans IRL. I didn't expect to meet anyone there, if I'm being honest, but I did. They found me, and I was really happy to meet some fans, but I've yet to have a weird interaction. Do we get more vids with your friends from the Enigma of Sepia video? They funny as F. Yeah, there's a chance that we will. It'll probably be a thing to where, like, whenever I do the bad gacha games, I'll probably get some friends and call, so there's a chance they'll come back for that, yeah. When I started recording on this channel, did you think you would get this far and be so well known in the Genshin community? No, not at all. I had, my first couple of videos did not do well, then I had an Albedo video that performed very well, but the video was just slop, you know? It wasn't anything, like, groundbreaking or important to the community. So I just kept making videos, and nothing really worked out up until, like, a year into my channel, and that's when my videos, like, really started to get numbers. So for the longest time, no, I didn't really think that I would be, like, where I am today, and I didn't think I'd also have, like, a reputation in the community either. Do I regret not doing anime opening on Chi-Chi while Mona has one? No. I think Chi-Chi not having an anime opening fit for that bit, and I think the Mona opening also fit because I tried to go for the whole useless water character vibe with that, and Konosuba has that with Aqua, so I thought that fit pretty well with Mona. Who do I main in Overwatch if I even play still? I play it occasionally now, but when I was an Overwatch, my main was always Winston. I love Winston. Gorilla. What is my favorite / unexpected moment that's happened during any challenge run? I have Perception first 10 pull for Lisa. I have Perception with Mizuki. Doing the skip with Venti the first time in the Delusion Factory, that was nice to see. Being able to do the skip on the Dane quest in the Chasm for no stamina, that was also really good. And let's see what else. I guess also accomplishing, like, the no-hit run, finishing that was also a great deal for me. So I'd say those moments are pretty important to me. Am I left left or right-handed? I'm actually ambidextrous, believe it or not. I use both of my hands for various different activities. What was it like hearing your voice when editing, and how did I get over it? Oh, I hate it. I truly hate this. I hate hearing my voice, but it's just something you got to deal with. You know, how do I get over it? I just did. That's like really all I can say. Do I have any crazy or funny drunk stories to share? This past summer, I had a little vacation with my friends, and I played a drinking game with Sekiro, and I had, I think, 7 shots, which really did a lot on me. I was very much out of it. I threw up, and my friends put me in the cold shower, which was not a fun experience, but apparently it helped. I don't know. I did not like that cold shower, but yeah, that's like really all I can say. What are my top and bottom 3 Archon quests? Alright, so I'm gonna say these in the context of like how I enjoyed them on my main account, so like how I enjoyed like going through the story and things like that. For top 3, Fontaine Act 5, Natlan Act 4, and Fontaine Act 2. And then for the bottom 3, Sumeru Act 2, the Natlan filler quest, because they make you do it. They literally, you have to do it every time. And Fontaine Act 3. I think Fontaine Act 3 is the worst quest in the entire game. What is my favorite book and movie? I've said that my favorite movie is Shrek 2, but my favorite book is Flowers for Algernon. What work did I want to do when I was a kid? I always wanted to do YouTube, but I didn't think it would be possible. Another job I had wanted to do was be like a talk show host or a late night host for a TV show. What is my favorite food from the South? I don't know if this is like a Southern exclusive thing, but poppy seed chicken goes crazy. I like fried okra. What else? I don't really know what else is like southern food, but so I'll just say those 2 are like for sure like my favorite southern cuisines. Mac and cheese is also good, but that's not really like a southern thing. How long did it take me to write the period speech? About an hour to an hour and a half, because I actually did research for it. I'm being serious. I did research for that period speech. I got opinions from multiple different women, and as well as research that I did online looking at like costs and prices and stats and stuff like that. This question is basically asking, why did I decide to do more collabs? I just thought it would be a way to make the videos more interesting, make it feel like something new, you know? Like, it helps make those videos stick out. I figured that would help those videos, and I think it did. Obviously, I still think I can improve on writing for other people and collabs, but I'm glad I did that change, and that's the reason why I did it. Do any of my friends and family watch my channel, and what are their views on the challenges I do? Some of my friends watch my content. I don't let my family do it simply because this isn't really content that would be interesting to them, and I didn't want to know that I was having views on a video from people who didn't enjoy the video itself, if that makes sense. They were there for me instead of the video, and I didn't want that, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted people to watch the video because they were interested in seeing the video, not just because, oh, they knew Chris made the video. Where are you from? If you couldn't tell from my mom, I am from the South, and more specifically, Mississippi. How many languages do you know, and what was your favorite class in school? I know English, Japanese. I studied Spanish in high school, but I wouldn't say that I know the language. As for what was my favorite class, I was a big history kid. History was always my favorite class whenever I went to school. What has been going on with my Twitter lately? What's the problem? There's nothing wrong with what I've tweeted in the past month. Am I Deku in disguise? I have no idea where this even comes from. I sound nothing like him. When you do these challenges and have to start the game from the start all the time, what is the part I hate replaying the most? Probably Fontaine, simply because there's not much for me to talk about in my videos, and it takes like 8 hours to do. Do I regret my channel name being MistahFeet? Yes, all the time, and there's plenty of times where I regret the name, but honestly, there's also a lot of times where I'm like, you know, this is kind of funny, so I do regret it, but will I change it? Probably not. What's the most inspirational lesson / thing you've gotten from Genshin's story quests that personally resonate with you? I can't think of anything in particular that, like, a lesson that resonated with me. I like the line from the end of the Mondstadt quest where Minty said, "Freedom, if demanded to you by a god, is really not freedom at all." I like that line. But in general, the thing that's resonated me the most with Genshin was probably Farina. It's not quite the same, but like, for me, YouTube was kind of like what she does, to where it's like, you're kind of putting on like a facade, you know, because like, you guys are seeing a part of me, but you're not seeing all of me, you know? Just like what we saw with Farina. She was playing the stake, she was playing the part of an Archon, but we did not know what was all going behind the scenes, and you know, I kind of relate to that. What's the craziest thing I've ever seen at school? So it's hard for me to answer that question, because whenever anything crazy happened at school, I was never there. Like, just straight up, I was never there. I would either be on the other side of school or I was out sick. It was every single time, and my friends always made fun of it because I always missed out on seeing fights. I never got to see fights because I just naturally was like never near them. I don't know why. But there was one thing on college I saw that was crazy, and I'm probably gonna have to censor this, but it was really annoying. Basically, a bunch of people were like it was some like protest or something. I don't really know. I don't really care. And it was some people doing something about abortion, and here I am on the way to calculus seeing a dead baby on a poster being shoved into my face. It is like, yeah, that's really nice. Do I wear socks and or shoes to bed? Shoes? Fuck no. What? Socks? Depends on how cold it is. P.S. You can step on me with your feet. Okay. And for the final question, would I lose?
Nah, I'd win.